Before we get into Kiefer Sutherland,
Another 80s staple.
yeah. So before we get into Kiefer Sutherland, I just want to tell you that before we get into Kiefer, I was listening to the John Cicada song that I was talking about yesterday, and you know what's an even better version of the song?
No.
The Spanish version.
Okay.
If you listen to the Spanish version of John Cicada singing in Spanish, you know, I mean, he was born in Cuba. He's not like an American with Cuban parents. He was born in Cuba.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy is that version is, you can tell that he feels it. I mean, Spanish is a Romance language, obviously. It's like a million times more emotive in Spanish than it is in English.
Dude, I think I can, I could probably track him down and see if he's interested.
In what?
No, nothing.
Relax there, Skippy.
That's the gay joke. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, dude. I mean, like you look at the comment section of the YouTube, and people are just like, "Wow, this guy's like." It's a totally different experience when the guy is singing in Spanish.
There's one drawback.
No.
I don't understand Spanish.
First of all, I mean, half the stuff I kind of understand. Second of all, dude, you live in Miami. What the hell's wrong with you?
I know, right? I totally ripped that off Norm Macdonald. He was on Letterman years ago. Remember that movie, Life is Beautiful?
Yeah. It's like, there's only one problem. I don't understand Italian.
Right. He's like, I went to see the movie Life is Beautiful. I love Roberto Benigni, right?
Uh-huh.
And he goes, I've never seen him on anything. I've seen him on your show. And I thought he was really funny. Yeah. So I went to see the movie. And it might be a great movie and all, but it has one really big drawback. None of it's in English. Which means I'm screwed because English is the only language I understand,
Yeah.
And it's not like, the title of the movie is in English, 3 English words. Life is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It's not like if it would have been called amore, 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 I wouldn't have gone. But.
It's hilarious. Amore. See, man, some girl from Alabama just liked the Facebook page of my wine business. Not Jewish, obviously.
All right.
You should see this girl, bro.
So what you're saying is that there's a beautiful non-Jewish girl out there.
Yeah. I mean, now that I look at her, she has a kid, I can tell, but
no good.
Yeah.
Nigoditsa.
Yeah.
As they say in Russian.
Somebody just presented me with a shidduch, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. 31-year-old girl with a 4-year-old daughter.
What is it? Was it divorce or the guy or?
Divorce. No, the frum girl, divorced. Here. Apparently Russian speaker, but who's into like cowboys stuff. I guess she's a Balchuva, but she's into like cowboy and outdoors and whatever. That kind of stuff. Lives in the center of America. Something like that. What is this noise?
Cowboy stuff, huh?
It says such place and can't relocate at this time. So I go, so my friend's like, I don't know where you're holding with shidduchim, blah, blah, blah. And I go, you know where I'm holding? I'm not moving to that place.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy.
Exactly. Well, it's not, yeah. Definitely not Kansas, but yeah, close. Yeah.
So what are we gonna do today, man? What are we gonna solve? What will we uncover? What needs to be done?
Oh man.
We got to talk about, I think that the anchor to each one of these discussions has been, and well, it should be, but it has been unconsciously some kind of 80s like, like staple, something that is just, that it's like a major component of the 80s. And because it's 24, right? The, Keith Sutherland popped into my head. And then I realized, wait a minute, that guy was an 80s icon.
Yes, he was. And we're talking about the movie.
Well, The Lost Boys, that's his probably most famous, like 80s iconic character.
Yeah.
And then growing up, like, I know that he was in a lot of 80s movies. The ones that I remember actually as a kid was The Lost Boys and Stand By Me. Do you remember who he played in Stand By Me?
I know he was in the movie. I forget the character he played.
He was the main bad guy.
Was he?
I think his name was Ace.
He was already older. Yeah.
No, he was. No, he wasn't older. He was still a teenager, I think.
He was older than the kids. I mean, that's what I mean.
Oh no, he was he was older than the kids who were walking on the train tracks. No question.
I'm thinking of River. What's his face?
River Phoenix, right? River Phoenix, and then that the chubby kid in that movie was that's Jerry O'Connell.
That's Superman, the gay Superman.
What are you talking about?
Jerry O'Connell. Oh no, I'm thinking of the other guy, not Jerry O'Connell. He's not gay. The other guy's gay. The other Superman guy.
Jerry O'Connell. I think he's married. He's
married. Yeah. Not Jerry O'Connell.
He's married to Conan O'Brien's obsession.
Oh, Rebecca Romaine. Yeah.
Yes.
Who was Stamos's ex?
Yeah, Stamos's ex, right?
Stamos. No. The other Superman. What the freak is? The freak is
the other Superman?
The guy who played Superman, but it was a show about the. Oh my god!
You talking about Smallville?
Yeah, the guy. No, what's his name? No, Flip.
I don't know, man.
Brandon James. What the flip? No. Yo.
I don't know. Gay
Dean Cain. There we go.
Dean Cain's not gay. He's like a conservative.
He came out as like something. I think he did come out of something.
No, dude. I think you're mixing that up with someone else. Dean Cain. Hold on.
Oh, never mind. Why did I think?
I don't know. He's like one of the.
He came out against this whole thing of when they made. Yeah, you're right.
He's like the opposite, man. Yeah,
he's a Republican.
Yeah. I think who's he married to?
I don't know who he's married to, but you know who his co-star was? Terry Flippin' Hatcher, man.
Terry Tiberius Hatcher.
What do you call it?
When someone's epic, when you have like a larger than life character, their middle name has to be Tiberius.
He called me Tiberius at one point. I was like, yo.
No, because James T. Kirk, the T is for Tiberius, right? So it's like, when someone's like a legend, right? He becomes
he was
name Tiberius, last name.
In Russian we have an expression, что-то с чем-то, something and something else. That was Terry Hatcher.
She's a little something, that's for sure.
Что-то с чем-то.
I mean, she's on Social Security now, but
when she was on, what's it called? Seinfeld? Lord of Mercy.
No. You know what was the thing I remember most about her? But she was so young. My God, when she was on Night Court. To me,
who did she play on Night Court? Oh yeah, she played like the what's it called? Dan Fielding's.
She played I think the niece of Dan Fielding's like boss or something like that.
Yeah.
Who was this lawyer who was actually a midget.
She was
right.
She was hitting on him in these episodes.
Driving him nuts. And if people know, Dan Fielding is played by this actor John Larroquette.
He played like a player.
He was like a kind of like a sex addicted sleazeball, right?
Yeah.
But he was funny. He's really John Larroquette is a really funny guy.
Yeah.
And so she was driving him nuts, because he knew that he couldn't come on to her, but she wanted, she was kind of like, she was slutty, or she liked to tease the guy.
Yeah.
And she was driving him nuts that whole episode. Yeah. And then every time she'd flash him, he'd go into the janitor's closet. He'd take the fire hose and stick it in this.
The name of the character is Kitty.
It was so goofy. It was such a goofy show. It was like amazing.
Kitty Daniels is the name of the character.
Yeah, probably. That sounds like.
No, I'm not looking it up right now.
It sounds about right. Everybody on that show was absolutely unique and irreplaceable.
Yeah, Harry and
the judge, Harry Anderson,
passed away, by the way. Harry.
Yeah, I know. He was like an incredible magic comedian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was one of those
very
interesting guy. Very interesting guy.
Yeah, he passed away in 2018.
And you know who else passed away? Remember, like the kind of smokestacky lawyer, the blonde one.
Yeah, she passed away. Really? What's her name?
Her name was Marky something. Marky
Post. Oh, her?
Yeah.
I think she passed away actually last year. She was 70. Wow, what the heck?
Yeah.
So she was like 40 and when that thing, or 35 when that.
No, she was kind of like this. Yeah, she was.
You know who else was there? What's her face?
And Dan's character was always trying to. He was always trying to bet her.
Dude, you know who was hilarious? That guy Richard Moll, the tall
Bull. Yeah, of course, Bull.
Dude, he's 79 years old.
Bull Shannon.
Yeah. Nostradamus Bull Shannon. That was the name of the full name of the character.
Yeah.
Dude, he's 79 years old. Crazy.
Yeah, man. He was one of the goofiest characters.
And Marsha Warfield, who was like on freaking Richard Pryor show, and who was dude, when Richard Pryor she did the roast of Richard Pryor, dude, she was like not half bad at that time.
No, she
I don't know what the hell happened to her.
No, she was hot at some point, and then she got
in the 70s. She was like this. She looked like she just came out of like Studio 54 with that hair.
Yeah, I know. People like Marsha Warfield, people can't.
And then she just became like, hey, I look like, I don't know, a black lesbian. This is like really weird.
Yeah, she got. It's like it's weird. It's like she got like.
Yeah. Very strange.
She adopted this, and then she had. I think she had a talk show.
Yeah.
Right.
She had a talk show. She did stand up.
But before Marsha showed up on Night Court, she replaced this other character, this like elderly woman who was had the same, she was also a bailiff in the court.
Yeah. It's like some bailiff,
She was funny too, but I think she may have passed away.
Dude, I'm looking at Marsha Warfield. She was like the, I don't know, the who's the female rappers today?
I don't know. I have no idea.
She was the I don't know, I guess the Foxy Brown of her time.
That's insane to me. You know what I mean? I only recently found out that she didn't look like that her whole life.
Yeah, there was a whole joke about she had like stuff with Paul Mooney. Something like that.
Dude, Paul Mooney, when the first time I saw him, thought he sounds gay to me.
I think he was like some kind of Fanoki kind of.
He's a little fruity, right?
Yeah, he's Fanoki. A little Fanoki there. Fanook.
A little bit too prissy.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. He's a funny guy. He's a good guy. He's a funny guy. Paul Mooney. Who is Paul Mooney? He's a funny guy. And that was my best impression of Norman.
Remember?
What?
Shannon Nostradamus, and then we have Paul Mooney, who was Negrodamus.
Oh yeah, that's right. Can I play the Negrodamus things?
Sure.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Here, the best. Here. No, this is just the best of Paul Mooney. Let me find the Negrodamus. Here you go. Oh, he had the outtakes also. They're like kind of funny. Hold on a second. Come on. Here you go. Negrodamus and Wayne Brady. See all the.
Dude, Wayne Brady was he abducted by aliens? I
don't know what the hell.
Nobody's seen hide or hair of him since that time.
He fell off. I think what happened was he was like really white-esque during that show that he was on, the improv show, and then he came on to Chappelle's, and they tried to turn him into like a real black guy, and then he just didn't fit the bill.
A real black guy.
So he just fell off the map. All right, so here, this is Paul Mooney as the black version of Nostradamus. They had like white people asking questions, and he like makes predictions.
Yeah.
Buonasera, Nicodamos. Io sono italiana e tutti ti mandiamo un bacione.
I came here all the way from Italy to ask you this question.
Tutti gli italiani.
What I want to know is what will happen to Rosie O'Donnell? You know, the fat, speaking of lesbians.
I know who Rosie O'Donnell is.
Just so you don't make, because people mix her up with Roseanne Barr.
Volevo sapere cosa succederà a Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell shall have a sex change. She'll become a man and marry Liza Minnelli's husband and beat him.
Grazie mille. Grazie. Hi. What will happen to Star Jones on View?
Star Jones, I'm getting something. Star Jones will have 2 jobs. First, she'll do The View. Then she'll take her wig off and do the weather.
Al Roker.
Oh man. Damn.
Now it's Ask a Black Dude with Paul Mooney. We could just like, actually, you know what? Let me fast forward. Actually, yeah, let's play this one. Whatever, this is funny.
Why in the movies is the black guy the first guy killed?
That happiness in that movie where he heals all white people. Big black woman.
Oh, the Green Mile. He's talking about the guy.
He was throughout the whole movie. He only got killed at the end, which I hated. I hated that movie because I hated him and I hate everybody that wrote that movie. Like, they were always worried about liking barbershop. They're really worried about what they say in white films. White films go all over the world. Because I remember The Godfather. I won't forget they had the drug scene and they said, well, we don't do that. Sell it to the It had something to say about that. The camera's still on.
Black people.
Stephen King, you know, the author asking a question on the streets.
Yeah.
He wrote The Green Mile.
Want to go to black dentists and the black people want to get buried by black undertakers.
That's funny. Stephen King. He almost said, I read it.
Yeah, he guessed it. Stephen King is a freaking racist. He's a leftist too. He's a woke.
Yeah. I regret ever watching any of his crap. By the way, Stephen King, can we just stop for a second?
Yeah.
Stephen King, I have to say it, he is an 80s staple.
He is, but now he became an operative.
No, he was an operative from the beginning. We just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I regret, like, his influence in my life was mostly negative.
Yeah.
All negative. I just remember, like, being different after watching his stuff and not better.
Yeah. Like
Pet Sematary was my first, and then It. Yeah. The original It, not not this.
Oh my God. But I had a friend who was.
I couldn't sleep.
He had a clown phobia, and then I tried to show him It.
I have a friend with a clown phobia too. What's your friend's name?
He's from Jersey.
Oh, you can't. Okay, don't say it. Don't say it.
Oh, say yours friend's also from Jersey?
No. This is a different guy. So I was curious.
Okay, I'm gonna start the rest of the.
Cool. They can't. That's cool too. That's kind of a weird question, and coming from Stephen King, it was very strange. A horror man come on and ask the question about that was already scary. I wrote a script for Stephen King. I have a Stephen King horror movie. We'll see how that scares people.
And with a brain, we see how that scares people.
In school, how about that, Steve?
And in school.
Our first film is Gone with the Wind. This film is an epic romance.
I love his expression,
centering around
his facial
Scarlett
expressions.
O'Hara, a damsel in distress during the Civil War.
Like he's about to
It is
crap
a
on everybody.
Must-see movie. I highly recommend it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I've actually seen
It's like
Gone
2
with the Wind
smokestacks.
13 times since I was 10 years old. No kidding.
You must be on crack. I don't think we seen the same movie. I thought Scarlett was a hoe because she went to bed with everybody but Mammy. Mammy was the best. The best scene in the movie is when Mammy told the white people, "Get off my poach white trash." I stood and I applauded. I loved every bit of it.
I liked Mammy though. I thought she was great. I thought she had a great role. So
Do you know in real life it was Hattie McDaniels? They wouldn't let Mammy go to the opening. Hollywood goes too far. But she's dead. But she's dead. But everybody comes back. Everybody comes back to get their money. She came back as Oprah Winfrey to get her money.
Barbershop is a smart comedy about a day in the life of a black barbershop on the south side of Chicago. It is owned by Ice Cube and inhabited by a colorful cast of characters who bicker with one another in various hilarious ways. Recently, a sequel was made.
You know it's just a front. They sell drugs at the barbershops.
The Last Samurai centers around Tom Cruise, a Civil War veteran who goes to Japan and teaches the Emperor's troops how to fight.
No. Another movie I was offended by. Hollywood is crazy. The Last Samurai, starring Tom Cruise. He's the Last Samurai. Give me a break. That movie was offensive. Hollywood is crazy. First they had the Mexican with Brad Pitt, and now they got the Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. Well, I've written the film. Maybe they'll produce my film. The Last on Earth, starring Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that's my favorite line from him. Yeah.
Now let's ask a black dude, and it's a guy. What's his name? Asking a question. D. Snyder from Twisted Sister. Speaking of Twisted Sister.
Yeah.
Really big, or
Our black guys. Schwarzenegger's really big.
They're a mixed bag, or we just assume they're all hung like horses.
Brothers are packing. They seem to be packing.
They seem to be.
I guess that's the way of the world. That's why you have so many mixed couples. White girl ain't that crazy. Once you go black, you don't come back. You go white, you go running back to black. Ain't that the way it goes?
Actually, the way I heard it was, once you go black, you're not welcome back. But that's neither here nor there.
Yes. Yeah, I want to get to the next social
Paul Mooney.
She was hopping on black chairs. She went crazy when she got away.
Okay, I've always wondered why black guys shave their heads. It just seems that they have great hair, and I could never figure out why some hair.
Dave Chappelle's behind him.
It just depends. Now, white folks wear bald heads too. You know that they're gonna let them have nothing. They took that. They took Tina Turner. They took Michael Jackson. They took James Brown.
Give it back.
Lionel Richie. Oh, they'll take stuff. They won't let us have too much fun. That's what I told some black people the other night at my show. I said, don't get too fond of me, because white folks come in and take me. A little bit of fun. Talking some mess on your show. They'll take your show. They'll fix you too.
What's the meaning of life?
Who is my real father?
Will I ever find a husband?
Am I going to get
This is the
sick?
last,
Does
the
God
most
really
Nostradamus.
exist?
For
Nicodamus.
centuries, people have turned to one man for the answer to life's great mysteries. That man is Negrodamus.
You, sir.
Negrodamus, will Arsenio Hall ever have another show?
Yes, Arsenio Hall will get another show. It will be called Good Morning, Black America. It will be shown at noon throughout the country.
Thank you so much, Negrodamus.
Next.
Negrodamus. Hello from France. Arnold Schwarzenegger va rester
Will Arnold Schwarzenegger stay with Maria Shriver?
marié avec Marie Chevet.
Arnold Schwarzenegger will divorce his wife and marry Shirley Temple Black. And she will be Mrs. Shirley Temple Black.
Black.
You, sir.
Negrodamus, why do white people love Wayne Brady so much?
White people love Wayne Brady because he makes Brian Gumble look like Malcolm X.
Centuries, people have turned to one man.
I want to listen to. They have the outtakes.
That man.
You know what? I had enough of Paul Mooney.
Wait, there, give it. This is 1 minute.
I don't like him.
Outtakes.
I forgot that I don't like him.
I know, because he's a racist. Whatever. He was a racist.
No, it's more than that. I don't care that people are racist. I don't care that. I just care that it's just kind of hard to explain. But he's one of those dudes who's part of the the black dudes are hung psyop. And I think we could have a whole episode dedicated to that.
Oh my God! Can we?
Everybody, like even freaking what's his name? Even freaking Eddie Murphy was all about that.
Yeah.
Like every single like black comic always make sure to emphasize how big black dudes are and how little white and how much white women want to be with. This is a psychotic fantasy. Okay. The reality is, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that most white girls don't like black guys. Okay. That's the ones that I know. I'm not speaking for all white women. Okay. And I'm also not saying that I agree with them. Right. But that's what I've experienced. Okay. So it's not matching reality. So whenever I hear something that's not matching the reality that I've experienced, I consider it a psyop. And it's a weird thing.
Let me just play this one. It's a 1 minute outtakes, Nicodamus.
By the way, Paul Mooney might know if all these black guys are hung because, you know, he kind of likes them himself.
Yeah.
I've heard that in Russia, they have 6 feet tall chickens. Nicodamus, please tell me, how do we fry them?
One wing at a time. Catch them. Next.
Hello, Nicodamus. Will Hillary Clinton run for president?
Oh, that's good.
Yes, Hillary Clinton will run for president and she will win. She will be president for the 3rd time.
Nicodamus, while president, will she cheat on her husband?
Yes, she will cheat on him. I'm getting something now. They're bringing Clinton into the office, the CIA. She said, make him watch. It's my turn to be sucked. On your knees. Lick it, kiss it, lick it, lick it. Lick it, Vernon.
Vernon.
Thank you, Nicodamus.
Like Vernon Jones.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You realize why they couldn't include that?
I remember seeing that on Comedy.
I apologize. It's not Vernon Jones. It's Vernon Jordan. I apologize. Yeah. Who passed away last year? Vernon Jordan.
Another person on the Clinton body count.
Yes. Let's read about Vernon Jordan. Vernon Jordan, for those folks who don't know, Vernon Jordan. Here you go. On May 29th, 1980, Vernon Jordan was shot and seriously wounded outside the Marriott Inn in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He was accompanied by Martha Coleman at the time. Police thought initially that it might have been a domestic incident relating to Coleman's life. Then President Jimmy Carter visited Jordan while he was recovering, an event that became the first story covered by the network CNN. Joseph Paul Franklin was acquitted in 1982 of attempted murder. However, in 1996, after having been convicted of murder in another case, Franklin admitted to having committed the shooting. So now we get into Clinton administration. Jordan, a friend and political advisor to Bill Clinton, served as part of Clinton's transition team in 1992-93. Shortly after Clinton was elected president. In the words of the New York Times, for Mr. Clinton, Mr. Jordan's roles have been manifold. Golfing companion, smoother of ruffled feathers. He put the president back in touch with Zoe Baird after the withdrawal of her nomination to be Attorney General. Consoler-in-chief after Mr. Clinton was defeated for re-election as governor in 1980. After the suicide of, quote-unquote, I'm adding the quotes in myself, of Vince Foster in 1993. Conduit to the high and mighty, he took Mr. Clinton in 1991 to the Bilderberg Conference in Germany, an exclusive annual retreat for politicians of the annual retreat. Bilderberg. We know what that's Bilderberg is all about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Go-between, he told Mike Espy he had to go as Secretary of Agriculture, help with Warren Christopher a larger role as Secretary of State, and sounded out General Colin Powell for a cabinet job. Dude, this guy sounded to me like he was like the black liaison of Clinton, and like the fixer. He's like a fixer.
Dude, with the last, like, since the Clintons were in the White House, everybody associated with them. Remember that scene in Casino when the bosses decide to clean up the loose ends?
Yeah.
Right? Like literally all these people,
a bunch of guys just get whacked one by one.
Just a whole sequence of That's what
Of
it's
whackings.
like that, but for the last 3 decades.
Yeah, it's just the secrets of whackings. Here. In 1998, Jordan helped Monica Lewinsky, a former White House intern, find a job after she left the White House and recommended an attorney. His role was considered controversial given the scandal the Clinton administration had suffered because of the president's involvement with the intern, and Jordan testified several times before the grand jury convened by independent counsel Kenneth Starr. On October 1st, 2003, a United States Court of Appeals rejected Jordan's claim for reimbursement for legal services related to assisting Clinton in scandals regarding Lewinsky and Paula Jones. Jordan asked the government to pay him $300,000, but he was paying only $1,200. In '98, Jordan was interviewed by CBS program 60 Minutes. In the impeachment trial of Clinton, Jordan was one of 3 individuals with Lewinsky and Sidney Blumenthal. By the way, his son, Max Blumenthal, is an anti-Israel guy, but he came out as an anti-schmaxer, so that's at least something. Of whom House impeachment managers recorded a deposition. By the way, man, if you want to talk about, dude, man, I just remember at the time, like this whole Lewinsky thing, like, you know, the Starr report. Kenneth Starr came out with his report, which is basically like, it was like the longest porn book ever written. You know, about all the stuff that happened with Lewinsky and Clinton.
Yeah.
In very, like, in detail. Like in detail.
Too much, man. Too much.
You know what I'm saying? I was like 17 years old. Like we had a computer, we just got internet. My dad like opened that and started like reading it to himself. And it was just, and at some point he's like, Greg, I can't read this anymore. This is ridiculous.
It's disgusting.
The whole country was reading it as if it was like a, you know, graphic.
It was like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah. The whole country was reading it. It was like they were interested in what this guy did with cigars and pizza.
I think, you know, I was thinking to myself, like, I feel bad for her, but it's like,
I don't feel bad for her because she's still a leftist, a woke, and she saved the dress. I never felt bad for her.
Yeah, she's definitely an operative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and she she just humiliated her entire people.
I think it was Dave Chappelle. He was like, he's like John F. Kennedy. I don't know who said that. Dave Chappelle, one of his comedians. John F. Kennedy got the hottest woman on the planet at that time, Marilyn Monroe. Bill Clinton, chunky Jewish girl.
Yeah.
All he could do.
By the way, she, like, you know, if you want to just talk about looks, somehow she became a smokestack. She wasn't a smokestack at all when that whole thing happened.
Nice face, but you know,
now she is, you know, which is weird.
Yeah, she had a couple of pizzas, you know.
God, so embarrassing.
Dude, she's like 50.
I feel like slapping her father.
You feel like slapping her father, yeah.
He's probably a liberal, you know.
Yeah, no, she is, yeah.
I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about him.
Yeah. Here it says, here, later activities and death. Here you go. In the 2000,
I didn't want to get into. I feel every time we talk about the Clintons, seriously, like, I feel icky.
Yeah, same.
I don't want to say I feel dirty. Yeah. That's not the word. I feel icky. Yeah. You know, I feel like I gotta wash my neck or something. It's very odd. You know, like it's a physical reaction.
Yeah, it's true.
It's gross.
Yeah,
these people are gross. Although I remember Norm Macdonald was awesome. Like he was just shitting on the Clintons.
Yeah.
When he was doing Weekend Update. You know.
Yeah.
Especially Hillary. He was actually.
We didn't play this on the show when he came on. When he came on The View.
We played it. We played it twice.
We did. Yeah, we did. When he came on The View, they kept shutting him up.
Yeah. Right, but we never. I mean, I don't think we ever got it like with good audio or anything. But like, I just want. But before you do that, I wanted to say like he was. The last one that I saw, he's like, Norm Macdonald's reading the fake news, and he's like, Chelsea Clinton, she was going for her driver's exam. She's 16 now, and she was apparently she was taught by Bill, her father, right?
Yeah.
So now she's an expert at cruising for chicks.
Exactly. I want to play his SNL clips.
Disney.
Yeah.
First Lady a compulsive liar, though? It's beginning to look that way. In an interview on last night's 2020, intended to promote her new book, It Takes a Village, Mrs. Clinton folded under tough questioning by Barbara Walters and admitted that, in fact, it does not take a village. And furthermore, that she was aware that it does not take a village when she wrote the damn book.
Such a Norm joke.
Meanwhile, President Clinton is hard at work on Tuesday's State of the Union address, in which he'll focus on crime, education, and the economy. At the request of the First Lady, part of the president's speech will be huge lies. More questions about Hillary Rodham Clinton's truthfulness. In an interview this week, the First Lady claimed that she won the women's 100-meter dash at the 1956 Olympics. But she had an IQ of, quote, over 700. When it was pointed out to her that these were not especially good lies, Mrs. Clinton responded, "I know, I have a problem." And then added, "I invented the formula for 7-Up." In Whitewater News, federal regulators quizzed Hillary Clinton at the White House this week and gave her a perfect score on the lying section. She's a dirty liar.
She's a dirty liar.
Hillary Rodham Clinton has told people that she was named for the first man to climb Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary. But as Esquire magazine recently pointed out, Sir Edmund did not climb Mount Everest until 1953, 6 years after Hillary was born. However, the First Lady does have a good explanation for the discrepancy. She loves to lie.
Yeah, that's great. That's just awesome. She loves to lie. She does.
Former Arkansas banker told the Senate Whitewater Committee this week that he gave Bill Clinton a $20,000 loan as a favor, even though it was, quote, unacceptable banking practice. In response, President Clinton stated that he has no recollection of such a loan, while First Lady Hillary Clinton said, "We've never even been to Arkansas."
Can you stop it for a second?
No.
No more indictments.
Wait a minute. That could have been. Hold on. Keep playing it. That might have been the one I wanted to talk about.
Are likely in the Whitewater investigation. President Clinton is still refusing to say whether he will pardon former Whitewater associates Jim and Susan McDougal. But when asked if he would pardon First Lady Hillary Clinton, the president was crystal clear. Quote, "She does the crime, she does the time."
Okay, that's it. That's exactly the one I wanted to talk about. That's so awesome. Perfect synchronicity.
Okay.
You get it? You get that one? Because every time Norm Macdonald spoke about the Clintons, it's always Bill Clinton trying to get rid of Hillary.
Yeah.
You know, he's always trying to find somebody to whack her or blast her off into space or something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, she does the crime, she does the time. Oh man.
So, it's just like she's also Teflon. You know, her and Trump have something in common. They are Teflon.
Well,
nothing sticks to her.
They have a different kind of, I mean, for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say one more. The best one that Norm Macdonald ever did, and he's like, it's crazy. He's like, he showed a picture of Bill and Hillary, right? And he's like, here's President Clinton, and here's the first bitch. That's crazy. I remember it's like, oh, right. And then he showed another picture of like, you know, Hillary looking all bitchy walking ahead. And then Clinton he's like behind her, he's like reaching out to her, and he's like, he's captioning the photo. He's like, "Hey, wait up, you bitch."
That's hilarious.
It's crazy, man. He was like, man, you know, I was really upset that Hillary Clinton outlived Norm Macdonald. That was, and freaking OJ and Hillary both outlived them.
Yeah. Dude, you know that Hillary's father was a Republican. He supported Barry Goldwater.
Well, she hates her father.
Yeah, there you go. And then her mother, Dorothy Howell, passed away 10 years ago. She was I'm reading about her now. Yeah. The childhood had been described as Dickensian, like, you know, like out of Charles Dickens. The family lived as boarders in a crowded house. The parents were dysfunctional and happy. Oh, so this is like Hillary's grandparents. Sometimes prone to violent fights, they moved Dorothy around various schools. This is Hillary's mother.
Yeah.
Only occasional attention to children before divorcing in 1927. The children were then sent on a train by themselves, unsupervised. Dorothy was 8 years old to live with their paternal grandparents in the Los Angeles suburb of Alhambra, California. The sisters endured harsh and unloving treatment from their grandparents. The grandmother favored black Victorian dress and punished the girls for trifling acts.
Yeah, you can't imagine Hillary's upbringing to have been very wholesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there you go. So here, the first and only child, first child and only daughter, Hillary, was born in 1947. Yeah, Hillary Clinton said her mother named after Sir Edmund Hillary, and that was the reason for less common 2 L's spelling of her name. However, the Everest climbed.
Dude, you're going way too fast. Like I can barely understand.
The kids, it was the same thing that McDonald said, that there was no way that it could have been she could have been named after Edmund Hillary, because the Everest climb did not take place until 1953, more than 5 years after he was born.
It's interesting to think, like, how would she really get out of that? Like, if somebody actually confronted her with that question, like, what would she say? And I can imagine, I know exactly what she's going to say. She's like, "Huh, that's what I always thought. I just assumed."
Yeah. There's no accountability. Yeah. See, this says Dorothy encouraged Hillary, listen to this, to have a love for learning and to pursue an education and a career, though she had never done so herself. As she later recalled, I never saw any difference in gender as far as capabilities or aspirations were concerned. Just because Hillary was a girl, this is her mom talking, didn't mean she should be limited. In contrast to her husband's staunch Republican views, Dorothy Rodham was, as her daughter later wrote, essentially a Democrat, although she kept it quiet in the Republican Park Ridge. She taught Sunday school at the First United Methodist Church of Park Ridge. During the 1970s, once her children were grown up, Rodham took courses at Oakton Community College in a variety of subjects, receiving high grades and earning an associate's degree in liberal arts. This is her mother. This is one of the first mothers of that generation to return to school. In 1987, Rodham and her husband moved to Little Rock, Arkansas, to be closer to their daughter and help care for the young granddaughter, Chelsea. She took courses in subjects that happened to interest her, focusing on psychology. Okay, so this is like about her mom. Her husband, Hugh Rodham, died in 1993, shortly after their daughter became First Lady of the United States. Dorothy Rodham remained active but valued her privacy and almost never spoke to the media. She spent more time at the White House and accompanied Hillary and Chelsea on visits to France, India, and China. She also enjoyed life in Washington, D.C. I'm just looking for something that's like interesting. She said in 1996, everybody knows there's only one person in the world who can really tell the truth about a man, and that's his mother-in-law. Following the Lewinsky scandal, she was reportedly angry at Bill, but encouraged Hillary to seek her own political career. She appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2004. Once living alone became too much for her. In 2006, she moved into the Clintons' large Whitehaven house in Kalorama neighborhood of D.C. There, she would often sit and discuss the day with her daughter when her daughter came home from work. Oh, this is when she was a senator. Starting in December 2007, she made a rare public appearance in Iowa and the other early primary states to campaign for Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign. She appeared at some events concerning women's issues, and she appeared in Clinton campaign television advertisements. She was seen wiping away a tear when her daughter conceded her presidential bid in 2008, but then was in attendance when her daughter was sworn in as Secretary of State on January 21st, 2009. In her final years, her health began to fail due to heart problems. And she had passed away because of heart problems, whatever. Yeah, but I don't know.
It's amazing how they tell the story about these people.
Yeah, you don't know anything else.
They just they wash over.
Yeah,
they wash over all the evil.
It's like grandfather Lenin, It's grandfather Lenin. That's the
they never tell the stuff like, did she influence Hillary to defend that pedophile who she knew was guilty, right? The one who raped the little girl, right? It's crazy. Like, she's completely ruthless.
Yeah.
Just whatever it takes, that movie this came out. I don't know if it came out after 2000, but Matthew Broderick and that little that kind of teeny bopper actress. I forgot her name. Oh, Reese Witherspoon.
Yes.
You know that movie? I think it was called Election, where he was a teacher in the school.
Yeah, 1999.
Right, and she was running to become the school president of the
Oh
high
yeah,
school.
yeah. There was
Right?
this
And everybody like got the same feeling that this is somehow like the story of
Lewinsky,
Hillary Clinton. Like that is Hillary. That little
Hillary, not Lewinsky. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Like Reese Witherspoon. It's not it's not an active. It's not an accurate. But it's not a biography.
Yeah.
But you could tell that character was based on Hillary.
Yeah, it says it didn't do well at the box office, but it got widespread critical acclaim. You know how today, if you go to like Rotten Tomatoes, you'll see like, regular people thought this movie was awesome and critics thought it was crap.
Yeah.
Like the diametrical opposite.
Yeah.
This is one of those.
You know what's interesting? You just hit on something very, very interesting. The critics, the movie critics, right, are a lot like the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
They think they know better than everyone else.
Yeah. They're sophistos. They're like pseudo intellectuals.
Why did anybody care what the movie critics? Why did the movie critics have a voice?
I don't know. Well, because Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel, they were kind of like the what did you call it? The Hazonish of the movie. That was it was Lahavdil. That was the it checked out.
I don't get it. What do you mean?
Proof of concept.
Sophistos. They're like,
No, I don't get it. I really don't.
They were the proof of concept that that the critics could be somewhat, I guess, useful. So to them, everybody started listening to all these other guys who have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Oh, so what you're saying is that Siskel and Ebert, they actually had something to say that it was of value.
Yeah, and then everybody thought, okay, well, critics probably know what they're talking about after these guys, but they don't.
So they established credibility.
Yeah,
and all the other critics were resting on what Siskel and Ebert had established.
Correct.
What I'm saying is, why do we need even Siskel and Ebert? Like, why can't people decide for themselves?
We don't. You're right. We don't. People can decide. The box office decides. The purse decides.
It's kind of like that system. It's kind of like a mob.
Yeah.
Like the movie critics. Yeah. Like if you don't get them to approve, then they could tank your whole movie. Like you could invest.
It's the gatekeepers. Yeah.
Like you need to bribe them.
Here.
Right? In order for.
Let me go on Rotten Tomatoes. I just am curious. Like I'm just looking at the recent movies. Right. Let's click on here. There's a movie. I don't know. Let's do Top Gun Maverick. Okay, fine. Everybody liked it. The critics liked it. The people liked it. Whatever. Fantastic. Here. Yeah. Tomato audience score 99. Critics 97. Fine. That's that. We can. Here. Let's do like crappy movies that people liked, but that was like the opposite. I want to find, let's see here, audience score. No, tomato meter rotten. Let's do tomato meter rotten, audience score fresh. There you go. There's a movie that recently came out where the crawdads sing. All right, so the movie is about here. What's the movie about?
Crawdad. I haven't heard that term being used since Raising Arizona.
It's a movie here. It's a movie about a woman who raised herself in the marshes of the Deep South, becomes a suspect in the murder of a man she was once involved with, and who's starring whatever is this young actors. I don't know who the hell these people are. David Strathairn, you know this guy? He played in I just recognize his face. He played in here. He played in some movies in the 90s. I'll tell you what he played in. One second. Here. Come on. Where is it? He played in Sopranos a little bit. If I show you his picture, you know who I'm talking about. He played in like all these movies in the 90s.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
I'll send you.
Did you ever see Raising Arizona?
Parts of it, yeah.
Nicolas Cage, right? It was a Coen Brothers movie. It was one of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage was in jail.
Yeah.
It's one of the scenes where he was in jail, and his cellmate was this black dude who was telling him how when they were growing up and they didn't have much to eat, and the guy was like, "I'll see if I can paraphrase this." He's like, "Well, when we didn't have meat, we ate fowl, and we didn't have fowl, we ate crawdad, and we didn't have crawdad, we ate sand." And then Nicolas Cage is like, "You ate sand?" He's like, "That's right."
Dude, so this movie where the crawdad's saying 96% audience score, 34% critics.
You know what crawdad is, right? It's like a little, kind of like little lobsters, like these little swamp lobsters.
Yeah.
Like crayfish, basically.
Yeah, crawfish. Yeah. They just call them crawdad.
Crawfish.
In the South. So the kids around, that kind of stuff. Every once in a while, you get like this Jurassic World Dominion. 77% of people liked it. The critics, 30%.
Yeah. What does that show you? Don't listen to the critics.
I mean, listen. More often than not, these movies are, critics and people like them. But every so often you get like these movies where it's like. Blah.
Yeah, I mean, like we probably love so many movies that the critics probably hate. Can you imagine what the critics said about like Point Break? Or can you imagine what they said about like Bloodsport? Think about it. Right? Like
Point Break. Let's see. Keanu Reeves. Actually, they gave it a 70, believe it or not.
Really?
Some of them give it a 50. Audience score gave it a 79. Critics gave it a 70. But what about at the time? I'm curious at the time. Here. Point Break.
There is something that Point Break had that they never really showed in movies before. Like it was like like the point of like when there was a chase scene between Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, right? So the camera was running. Do you understand? It's like it was in the perspective of Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Like it was so chaotic. It was like a real chase. It kind of, I forgot what they call it. PO.
That's what Kubrick,
point of view, something like that.
POV. That's what Kubrick used to do. That kind of stuff.
So when it came to action movies, that was kind of like the first, but it was shaky. It wasn't like stable. They tried to make it feel real.
It wasn't like in The Shining where you saw, like he's chasing the kid in the snow.
Right.
And they actually used the little train, the little tracker thing with the camera on it.
It was too smooth, right?
Yeah, it was very smooth. But that was great.
Yeah. This was like, and especially you got the real effect in Point Break when he threw the dog at him. It's like it would have been awesome in 3D. When he's running through like the houses, the backyards, and the alleyways or whatever, right? And he picked up a dog and he tossed the dog at him.
Yeah. So I want to read to you. See, it says Point Break. See, it says average rating of 6.2 out of 10. The website's this is like regarding Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I
mean, remember, they didn't have Rotten Tomatoes back then. So.
Yeah, no. So here you go. Metacritics reported a weighted average score of 58 out of 100 based on 20 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Cinema Score gave it an average grade of B plus and an A plus. Okay, fine. Roger Ebert, speaking of Siskel and Ebert, of Chicago Sun-Times, gave the film a 3.5 stars out of 4 and wrote, Bigelow's an interesting director for this material. She is interested in the ways her characters live dangerously for philosophical reasons. They aren't men of action, but men of thought who choose action as a way of expressing their beliefs. In her review for the New York Times, Janet Maslin praised Reeves' performance. A lot of the snap comes surprisingly from Mr. Reeves, who displays considerable discipline and range. He moves easily between the button-down demeanor that suits a police procedural story and a loose-jointed manner of his comic roles. Entertainment Weekly gave the film a C+, and Owen Gleiberman wrote, Point Break makes those of us who don't spend our lives searching for the ultimate physical rush feel like second-class citizens. The film turns reckless athletic valor into a new form of aristocracy.
It does. That's actually a pretty good description of it.
In his review for the Washington Post, Hal Hinson wrote, a lot of what Bigelow puts up on the screen bypasses the brain altogether, plugging directly into our viscera, our gut. The surfing scenes in particular are majestically powerful, even awe-inspiring. Bigelow's picture is a feast for the eyes, but we watch movies with more than our eyes. She seduces us, then asks us to be bimbos. Rolling Stone magazine, Peter Travers wrote, Bigelow can't keep the film from drowning in a sea of surf speak, but without her, Point Break would be no more than an excuse to ogle pretty boys in wetsuits.
Hang on. So there was a female director in that movie?
Yes.
What was her name?
Her name was Catherine Bigelow.
That's good to know. That's really good to know, because I didn't know. I assumed there was a guy director.
She used to be married to James Cameron for like 2 years in the 80s, in the late 80s.
No, whatever. I mean, like there's not, not like there's not many like female like stand-up comedians that I like, and also I didn't really know about too many female directors.
You know what she directed?
Of movies that I like, and so that Point Break was a huge one. So that's cool. That's pretty cool.
She directed. You know what she directed? Strange Days with.
Yeah, I know.
Ralph Fiennes, Angela Bassett.
Julia Lewis. It was kind of like a creepy, kind of like sci-fi, like dystopian kind of reality. It was kind of interesting.
It made no money. She directed K-19, The Widowmaker with Mr.
That was with Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah, K-19, The Widowmaker. It's about all this. It's based on it's against Soviet Union, all this kind of stuff. And then she directed The Hurt Locker, the movie we spoke about yesterday, the guy disarming the bombs. Zero Dark 30, about what's it called? About when they allegedly got Bin Laden.
So far, I hadn't seen anything except for Point Break and Strange Days.
And then she directed Detroit, which is like whatever. I don't know what the hell this was. The Hurt Locker was probably the best. I mean, besides Point Break, the best movie that I've seen of hers.
It's very interesting. Can we go back to Strange Days for a second? The bad guy in that movie, right, is another like guy like from the 80s that you've seen, and there's no one like him. He's he's like the perfect scary sleazeball.
Oops.
There's this other actor.
Talking about Vincent D'Onofrio, that guy?
No. The bad. Okay, hold on. This is interesting. Hold on.
William Fichtner, Officer Dwayne Engelman. What does he play? What character does he play?
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, this guy, Richard Edson. This guy.
Hang on a second, dude.
I'm looking at. I recognize some of these people as I'm asking.
Hang on. So, second.
Yeah, Los Angeles becomes a dangerous war zone.
Is it Richard Edson?
Interesting.
No, not Richard Edson. Richard Edson's hilarious. Yeah. Another completely unique dude.
Yeah.
Richard Edson.
Another semi-retard character.
I don't know. No, he played a little bit.
Yeah.
No, not semi. I mean, maybe he has a weird look. I don't think he wasn't an 80s retard.
No, Tom Sizemore then?
No, not Tom Sizemore. Hold on. Give me a second, man. Give me a second. And these pictures are so small.
James Cameron wrote the screenplay for Strange Days, by the way.
Dude, this movie has so many people. It's insane. Can't find. Okay. He's the guy that Juliette Lewis left Ralph Fiennes for. He was like a record producer / drug kingpin or something like that in the movie. The hell? Hang on.
Philo. So the character Philo Gant? Michael Wincott? No?
One second. Okay. Here's how we do this. We're going to go to, okay. Strange.
Yeah.
Okay, so the plot. In the last 2 days of 1999, Los Angeles has become a dangerous war zone. As a group of criminals robs a Chinese restaurant, the event is recorded by a robber wearing a squid, an illegal electronic device that records memories and physical sensations directly from the wearer's cerebral cortex into a mini disc-like device for playback. Do you remember mini disc, dude?
Yeah.
Anyway, Lenny Nero, a former LAPD officer turned black marketer of squid recordings, buys the robbery clip from his main supplier, Tick.
Uh-huh.
Elsewhere, a prostitute named Iris, who was a former friend of Lenny's ex-girlfriend, Faith Justin, is being chased by LAPD officers. Okay, hold on. Lenny pines for Faith. There we go. And Faith is Juliette Lewis, and relies on emotional support from his two best friends, bodyguard, which is Angela Bassett, by the way, and limousine driver Lornette Mason and private investigator Max Peltier. Mace has unrequited feelings for Lenny. That's Angela Bassett from when he was still a cop, and stepped in as a dependable father figure for his son after her boyfriend was arrested on drug charges. But disapproves of his squid dealing business. While Lenny and Max are drinking together at a bar, Iris drops a squid. Man, it is so hard.
Michael Wincott, this guy. Yeah, I'm looking at his face right now. You're saying he plays other bad guys, right?
Michael Wincott. Please show me a picture. I don't know.
Here, this guy.
Hang on. I'm gonna find Michael Wincott. I have a feeling it is Mike. He also played the bad guy. He was the main bad guy in The Crow.
The Crow was in what, like 2000 or something like that? No, 90.
I think it was 90 or 89 or something.
Yeah, so it's him, Michael. No, 94.
Yes, Michael Wincott. This guy.
Yeah, he's like is he British? No, Canadian. He's Canadian.
He's Canadian. That makes sense. This guy, there's no one like this guy. He's like the perfect sleazeball bad guy in every movie.
Yeah. If they weren't going to cast, what's his name, the guy, everyone, they would have casted him in that role.
I suppose, that could have been. And there's one more guy who's kind of like that, but unique.
You know what movie he played in where he played the ultimate like scum? I'll tell you which movie.
He played the ultimate scum in literally every movie.
I know, but I'll tell you specifically. First of all, he was in The Doors. He played one of the band members. Oh, he played in remember the movie 1492, Conquest of Paradise?
Yes, that's that when he was Maxica. He was like I think it was like Columbus's like weird cousin or something like that.
Yeah,
who did horrible things to the natives.
He was like torturing whatever.
Yeah.
People and stuff. He played
there's one more guy that almost fits the bill for sleazeball, like in almost every movie. And hold on, he was in The Untouchables. Hang on a second. The Untouchables.
That's where I remember this guy from. I remember him from 1492.
Billy Drago. Do you know Billy Drago?
No.
Look up Billy Drago.
That's an actor?
Yeah, Billy Drago. Drago. There's no one like. See, these guys are like.
Oh, this guy. Yeah. Oh my God.
Right, another perfect sleazeball.
It's like they found like there's like the certain bone structure, that sharp bone structure,
right,
and
right.
Eyes.
Yeah, there's he's just like the skinny, sharp features, right?
They just look like they're from like these people look like they came straight out of Gehenna.
They look like right, but you know what? It's like I remember looking him up one time, and apparently he's like a sweetheart. This guy, he just has a look. It's not his fault.
Yeah, he played in True Blood. He played in Untouchables. He played in Delta Force 2.
He also passed away in 2019. Damn it. There's no one like him, to me, I value that very, very much, like completely unique characters. Like without these people,
there's nothing.
Everything would be boring. It just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have even these characters anymore. Like they don't even cast these kind of, because there's no like typecasting anymore. Everybody wants to be, I want to be a main actor. I want to be a main. Nobody wants to be like typecasted in like the
nobody has there's no character allowed.
Yeah. There's no, yeah. So like this Maxica, I just remember like the guy playing.
Again, just for the folks at home, 1492, The Conquest, right? That was the name of the movie.
Conquest of Paradise, dude. The soundtrack for that movie was written by Vangelis. You know the guy Vangelis, who
Yeah.
wrote the same guy who wrote the soundtrack for Blade Runner. Dude, both those soundtracks, incredible, incredible.
Do
Epic.
you remember yesterday when like we were talking about like the difference between the way 80s and 90s movies looked, like the actual film,
Yeah.
right? So the best possible example is this movie 1492, The Conquest of Paradise.
Correct.
I don't know the camera filter that they used, but that is like the 90s camera filter.
And Armand Assante was the epitome of the 90s actor, and he played
Yeah, he was in that movie too, right? He
played Gabriel Sanchez, Columbus's arch rival in Castile, and Gerard Depardieu played Columbus, which is I think, and Sigourney Weaver played Queen Isabella, who was an anti-Semite, by the way, not in the movie but in real life.
You know what's crazy?
By the way, Columbus supposedly was Jewish. You know, right?
Yeah, he was not Jewish. I've been hearing this for like 30 years. The guy was not. Most of his crew was Jewish. That's enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Franklin Gela played Luis de Santangel. And who was the guy?
I have a feeling Frank Langela's character was not a good guy. Another awesome villain, by the way.
Correct.
Frank Langella was such an awesome villain.
Correct. He was like one of these villains who told, you know, the protagonist what he was going to do.
And he did it.
And he did it. Yeah, he's like a Klaus Schwab.
By the way, he's a big, scary dude. But Frank Langella is like a physical presence.
Yeah, he's like 6 foot.
He's like an intelligent brute.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect way of explaining him. And my favorite, like the best role that I think he ever had was he was psychotic. There was a movie, I think we spoke about it. It was called The Ninth Gate. Am I getting that right? With Johnny Depp, where he's a rare book dealer.
He was in Masters of the Universe, Skeletor.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous. Masters of the Universe was just a tragic. It was horrible.
Yeah.
You know who was in that?
It was Dolph Lundgren. He plays
Dolph Lundgren, but also like the main chick in the movie.
Was Courtney Cox was.
Yeah, Courtney, right? Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
And you could tell by like when you were looking at her, like when she was delivering her lines, it's like you could tell that she was like thinking in the back of her mind, like, this is so horrible.
Yeah.
Are you guys serious? Like, this is the worst thing ever. You could see
like, I'm gonna be moved. It's like Jerry Seinfeld. Every time he was in those episodes, he was laughing. He was smiling, like laughing at all the jokes that he knew were coming. You know, you see like Jerry in all these episodes, he's like smiling. He's laughing at the whole situation. It's like whatever. But he played this guy Langella. He played in Lolita, 1990 with what's his face? That's another face. What's his name? The actor Jeremy Irons. That's another kind of
yeah. He's right. Jeremy Irons is like. When you think of his voice is very right. His voice is very interesting. But when you think about like messed up stories really dysfunctional stories that make you feel truly icky on the inside, you've got to think of Jeremy Irons.
It's his eyes. There's something in his eyes that look.
I don't know what it is, but
not even the bone structure. It's his eyes, man.
There's this man. You know,
another thing. Kill you.
Another one of those movies that made me feel that put me in this is a 90s movie that put me like in a deep depression, right? Yeah. But also deeply disturbed me for days.
Which one?
I can't remember the name of the movie, but basically he started having an affair.
Body of Evidence you're talking about?
With his wife's wife. I'm sorry, with his son's wife.
Body of Evidence. Erotic.
Is that what it was? No. Body of Evidence, wasn't that with Madonna?
And William Dafoe.
No.
Dafoe.
Oh, yeah, William Dafoe, another one, yeah.
Another Gehenna creature.
All these creeps, right?
Yeah. No, it's amazing, right? It's amazing.
So basically and like William Hickey was like the grandfather of all these guys. We talked about him the other day. You know, like skinny features, skinny weird face features. But this movie, I don't remember the name. So Jeremy Irons' son got married to this like, you know, sexy girl. And then he started having an affair with his son's wife. And this woman right? She had an affair with her own brother who killed herself over her. And then in the end of the movie, right, his son walks in on them and sees them, and he's so shocked by it that he starts like walking backwards, and then he falls over the railing and he falls down like and he's killed. And that's how the movie ends. I was like,
the movie is called
that is Jeremy Irons in a nutshell.
The movie is called Damage, and it's him and what's her face, Juliette Binoche,
yeah.
and Miranda Richardson, Rupert Graves. I don't know.
Whenever I hear Juliette Binoche, I think of that bread, brioche, which is a lot like challah, by the way.
Yes. So yeah,
I don't know. It's such a flimsy bread. I don't know why people make this bread. You can't even like smear anything on it. Yeah. It's like, what are you going to put on brioche? It just falls apart.
They just want you to eat. French people just want you to eat the bread. They don't really give a damn.
It's like cotton candy bread. It sucks.
They just want you to eat the bread. That's all they want. They don't want you to put anything on it necessarily, even.
Yeah. But Jeremy Irons is the worst. He's Jeremy Irons and John Malkovich.
When you say "don't be that guy," you're talking about.
Don't be Jeremy Irons. Yeah. Don't be the characters that he plays. Maybe he's a great guy.
Yeah.
In his own right. And you know what's funny? The most normal role I've ever seen him in is this movie called Stealing Beauty, which shattered my vessel with what's her name? Liv Tyler.
Hold on. Jeremy Irons, you said?
Yeah. Stealing Beauty is
that's him.
Liv Tyler. She goes to stay with her aunt and uncle in Italy. There's this British couple they're staying at some place in Italy. Okay. It was like next to an olive farm, something like that. And whatever, it's not a very interesting movie. It's kind of, I'm not gonna say it's not a romantic comedy. It's not a coming of age thing. It's just kind of a twisted, something's wrong with it. You know what I mean? It's like creepy, incestuous.
She's 19 years old in the movie.
Yeah. Okay. And obviously she's gorgeous. I just wanted to watch the movie to look at her, right? And but Jeremy Irons is staying there too, and he's like a terminally ill writer.
Yeah.
And the last scene in the movie is him being like, carried off to his doom, the ambulance came to get him, and everybody's all sad looking at him, and he's being carried out, and he's laughing at them. He's like, "Look at you, look at your faces,"
Yeah.
He was just laughing at these people who are.
Who else played in this movie? Joseph Fiennes, Ralph Fiennes, I guess his brother.
Yeah.
And Shanae Cusack. I don't know if she's related to John. I'm not sure. She's some Irish woman.
Also, Rachel Weisz was in this movie, and she was just off the hook.
Yeah. She's in the movie. She was looks like too. Who else is in the movie? Some French dude who was like old, I guess, at the time.
Some French guys,
whatever.
It's not, the movie is not terribly interesting, but Liv Tyler is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So no, but Jeremy Irons is in that movie, and it's always something like that. You know what I mean? It's always something really messed up, something that makes you not feel good inside.
It's almost like they're trying to. At some point, they started creating, these movies that showed you chaotic relationships, and it's eventually just became normalized. They started out, oh my God, this is so. At first you were like, oh my God, this is so whack. I hope I never have, people, like regular families and relationships are like, wow, this is really messed up. Thank God I don't have that.
Yeah.
At some point this kind of stuff just became the norm. If you go to Europe,
they try to normalize it, because whenever I'd go to see movies in Lincoln Square, right? Like foreign films or, alternate films and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The type of people I'd go with, they're always like, listen, this is real life. They're showing real life. I'm like, no, it's not, you idiot. None of you, I know all of you, none of you know anybody like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of our parents are more or less normal. Yeah. The worst thing that happens is they get divorced. That's for sure. Nobody's tapping the stepdaughter or whatever.
Yeah. Not like that level of that's just,
It's
crazy. That's like That's like World Economic Forum. People.
Yeah, it's like France. It's like, dude, it's like the EU. That's like their whole thing.
You know, and not even but no. The thing is like this: if you go to France, you go to the countryside.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no,
It's filled with regular people who don't do this.
Yeah.
You know, this is like the Upper West Side of Paris.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Upper West Side of New York. The Upper West Side of every shitty, globalist city is filled with people like this.
Elitist behavior. That's all it is. It's elitist behavior. And they say, well, you just don't understand. You don't understand sometimes, you just like, you get into a relationship and like, you can't, man wasn't made to be, we weren't made to be monogamous. But then, who says women have to be monogamous?
I agree. No, I agree. I agree with that. That we don't have to mix that into this.
I somehow felt that was coming.
No, that was a good comic device.
I set you up.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Knocked it down.
Yeah, but basically, but on the other, but we're not even talking about that. Like that, I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying that dudes that cheat on their womanizers are good at all. Okay, but at least that's something that contributes to the human population.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about like accepted like French, modern day philosophers who are justifying pedophilia. That's common.
Pedophilia or
Paris.
Incestuous stuff or quasi-incestuous, like stepdaughter, step kids.
You know what I mean? These people are creeps.
Yeah.
Even in this movie, Stealing Beauty, right? The guy who, basically part of the plot is that she's not exactly sure who her father is.
Yeah.
Okay. So she goes to stay with her aunt and uncle. And then at some point in the movie, it becomes clear that her uncle, who's a painter, is actually her father.
Yeah.
But before that, he knew that. But before that, he painted her like nude.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is globalist creephood right here.
You know who directed this movie? What's his face? This Bertolucci clown. Bernardo Bertolucci.
Sounds like a Baroque artist. I don't know.
No, he directed. He's kind of like the Italian version of Roman Polanski. See, it says Bertolucci's films often deal with themes of politics, sexuality, history, class conflict, and social taboos, marked by sensual.
I just want to say the only thing I like about Roman Polanski is his wife. That's it. I like nothing about this guy.
Who was his wife?
I like this movie, The Ninth Gate. It was actually directed by Roman Polanski.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but he is a creep.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't necessarily like automatically believe everything that they say about him.
Yeah.
First of all, he is a Jewish guy. He's a survivor.
Yeah.
His parents were Holocaust survivors,
yeah.
Right? And so basically, he was driven out of Hollywood.
Yeah.
For something that, as we know now, all these fuckers do.
Yeah.
Literally all of them. So why was he driven out for it? It makes me think that he didn't actually do it. It makes me think he may have been one of the ones who literally didn't do it and criticized somebody who did do it. So they blamed it on him.
Yeah.
That's how my mind works.
That could be it, or it just could be that he's a fall guy and he did something, but he's a fall guy.
Yeah, that could
By
be.
the way, this Bertolucci guy directed.
I love his wife. Love her.
The Last Emperor.
The Last Emperor, yeah.
Bertolucci directed The Last Emperor, and he directed.
I hate his movie. I have a love-hate. There's this one scene in The Last Emperor where he has like this pet mouse, that he keeps in this like little box.
Yeah.
And then like he gets mad or something like that, and he throws the mouse against the wall.
Yeah.
Kills it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I remember seeing that as a kid, and that was like the first time I feel like if I had a button which would nullify existence, I would press it.
Yeah, kill this kid, little character.
The world, no, not just the kid, the whole world,
Yeah.
because like the fact that can happen makes none of it like worth it. Like I don't get it. Like what's the point of having this shit? Like it was at that point that I think I was like 9 years old or 8 years old. I was thinking to myself, I don't understand this world and what it's for, and whoever is like sustaining it, who creating it and sustaining it, I could not begin to imagine why he would want something like this. I know that was a complex thought, But I had that thought when I saw that scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It blew my heart.
Liv Tyler in this movie is God help us.
Dude, don't watch this scene.
Dude, one
way of making sure that our podcast never gets popular is by you looking at the movies that I mentioned.
Dude, man, there's 2 Shechina images in all of cinema history. There is Brooke Shields in Blue Lagoon, and now that I just saw Liv Tyler in this movie, Liv Tyler in the Stealing Beauty.
Like, yeah, she's a gorgeous girl. Yeah,
but it's not just like, oh, she's hot or whatever. It's like this very.
You know who does a great impression of Liv Tyler?
Who?
You know the comedian Nick Swartzen?
Yeah, I heard of him.
He was on a plane with her, and she was sat next to him, and this is after Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand like how he did this impression, but it like you could literally hear her. He was like swa 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 swa. You know, like the way she's.
Dude, that's you know.
She's like, "Do you like cookies?" Swa 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 swa. It's like,
that's kind of like when Russell Peters talks about overhearing Arab women in a cafe in Dubai. You know, he's like, I always thought that Arabic was a violent language, like you know. He's like, I'm sitting in a cafe in Dubai and I just hear, dude, this was me, and by the way, in Amman in the airport, same thing. And he's just like, oh.
all you have to do to make like a Semitic language sound like normal is to make it sound a little bit softer than the way you usually hear it. That's it. Okay. Because most of the time you hear right?
Yeah. And you sound like somebody's trying to hack a loogie, or like Eddie Murphy imitating here. Eddie Murphy. Here you go. Eddie Murphy imitating it. This is Eddie Murphy in Delirious imitating an Arab guy.
I don't like that shit, that Arabic that the motherfuckers be speaking in the 7-Eleven. That shit fucking. It's not nasty and shit. We're getting all this shit. That's a word in Arabic. That means some shit to them. They be walking out here. But now I'm a happy cheese hero. Never mind, man.
Dude, he totally ripped off Jackie Mason just now.
What?
He totally ripped off Jackie Mason just now.
Yeah. This is 1982. I don't know what was there.
Dude, can you imagine? Like, no wonder Eddie Murphy can't be. You can't see. He like basically fell off the map. You know, he like
stand up in years because he knows if he
because
doesn't.
You can't do it because you can't be funny.
Yeah, you can't be funny like that, like raw.
Which means you can't be funny.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, you could try to be. You see how like not mercilessly, how desperately, what's his name? Chappelle is trying to fight them. He probably sat down with Eddie Murphy. He's like, dude, I'm gonna try this. Eddie Murphy's like, you're gonna see what's gonna happen.
Dude, I'm telling you right
see
now.
What happened with the woke white people do to you.
Listen.
Chappelle's like, I got this. No, you see what's gonna happen. Listen to me, brother.
Dude, listen. I'm telling you right now. Chappelle gets too much credit. He's too much of a puss. He's gonna pussy out. I promise you.
I know, but I'm just saying. You see, he's the only one that's trying to kind of stand a little bit in the fire, whatever it is. And dude, Murphy's just watching this. Murphy just went on for his 5 minutes at the the acceptance speech for the Mark Twain thing, and that was actually quite funny and very inappropriate. I mean, if you're a uptight white person.
Dude, the last time I saw Eddie Murphy be funny was when he was on Inside the Actors Studio with James Lipton.
Yeah.
And he was telling the Charlie Murphy story. That's it.
He's like, if I'm Johnson, I whip his ass.
That was like a glimmer of old Eddie. You never see old Eddie anymore.
Yeah. But can I play this? It's like 5-minute clip from Eddie Murphy accepting the Mark Twain Prize. This is 2015.
It's better be funny, motherfucker.
Thank you so
This is
much.
already when like Bill Cosby, like, you know, the scandal and everything.
Oh man, all right.
Whatever. No,
Tremendous honor. Wonderful evening. I'd like to thank the Kennedy Center, first of all, for celebrating me and honoring me in such a wonderful way and bringing my loved ones and my family here. This is a super special, memorable night. And thank you to all the comedians that came out and sang. And, I mean, Sam Moore came out and sang, and Alabama Shakes was here. We had a really, really, really special night. Hasn't been lost on me that, you know, usually when people have evenings like this, a person's really, really old when they get these awards. They'll let you wait. Really, like one of the greatest, funniest people of all time was George Carlin, and he received this award posthumously. And he's funnier than all of us. So to be standing here alive and looking like myself still, they let you get really old. And there was also some confusion about whether or not it was an award or a prize. And actually, it's an award. Even though they call it a prize, it's an award. Because usually when there's a prize, there's money involved.
You notice, like, he's playing like this. Now he's doing this whole character that he always does in these movies when he's like, you know, the inappropriate guy walks into one of these, like, you know, when he was like Beverly Hills Cop and he had to walk into like some restaurant and it's like he has to act proper.
Yes. Yeah, he has to either act proper or pretend to be the gay lover of the guy he wants to talk to.
Yeah. Simplex herpes simplex 10. Yeah. I'm gonna play that next, by the way. It's hilarious.
I thought I was gonna get some paper. I was like, yo, Mark Twain Award, Kennedy said that sounded like paper. And they told me yesterday they raised $2.3 million. I was like, yo, I'm in there. Then I came down and they told me that there is no, it's a prize, but there is no money. And I was like, oh. So I think to clear up the confusion for future recipients, maybe you don't want to call it the Mark Twain Prize. Maybe you might want, if you don't want to call it the award, maybe you could call it the Mark Twain Surprise. Surprise, of course, being you ain't get no money. But that still doesn't diminish how wonderful this is. A wonderful, wonderful thing to be included with some of my heroes, Richard Pryor and George Carlin and Carl Reiner and Lily Tomlin. Who else got this? Bill? Oh, Bill has one of these. Oh. Did y'all make Bill give his back? I thought it was a big outcry for people. They was trying to get Bill to give his trophies back. You know, when they want you to give your trophies back.
It's messed up how they're all laughing.
It's sickening.
By the way, Dick Gregory is in the audience. You know, the old timer.
Yeah.
He's not laughing at that joke. You know.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think like I remember years ago when this stuff just came out, like when it was just happening, right? There's like a couple of people that like told the truth about it. Like Damon Wayans was one of them. He was on some radio show. They asked him, they're like, well, what do you think about this Bill Cosby? He goes, oh man, that's just a money hustle.
Yeah. Huh.
He said it just like that. Exactly what he said.
And notice Eddie Murphy. I mean, I don't know if he's throwing necessarily Bill under the bus. He's just making kind of like a. I mean, let's listen to this.
Let's come out and just talk crazy now. I would like to talk to some of the people who fail.
It's the face also.
I should give back my trophies.
I meant some trophies. he's doing like the face. Oh crap.
Thank you so much.
The face.
You may have heard recently that I allegedly put the pill into people's chocolate. I wish somebody would come up to my house talking about give up the trophy because you put the pill into people's chocolate. You get
You get messed up.
I'm not giving back.
I'm not giving back shit.
and who is Hannibal Barris?
Yeah, that's right. That's a good question, by the way. Who is Hannibal Barris?
First of all, Hannibal is a caveman's name. You don't just come on out and push over that. If I ever see or meet this Hannibal Barris in person, I am going to try to kill this nigger.
And they didn't black out that. Notice they blacked out MFer and this, but they didn't black out that.
Very odd. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, what are they? What's the psyop attempting here?
A bunch of racists. Hold on, let me just.
So like, let's just do one. Like I said, I don't want to go too far on Bill.
You know, it's a good question.
I thank you all so much. I love everybody.
Dude, man, Bill Cosby. Without Bill Cosby, Eddie Murphy would not be who he is.
You know, I think it's interesting. I'm not 100% ready to say that Eddie Murphy threw Bill under the bus here.
I don't think he did, but
I think in some indirect way he was sticking up for him.
Yeah,
somewhat.
Yeah,
because he asked the question, which is a good question. He's like, "Who is Hannibal Buress?"
Now the verse of the stand-up comedian who first said in one of his skits about Bill.
No. So Hannibal Buress is probably a political operative who came onto the scene, said the thing about Bill Cosby, and then disappeared into the ether.
Yeah, because you haven't seen.
He's not funny. There's no reason for him to have gotten on TV. It's like they let him slip in there, just do his demolition work, and then slip out. This guy's like a CIA agent or something like that.
Yeah. He hasn't played. He played some like lame role in Spider-Man last year, and that's basically it.
You know what I mean? So by bringing that up, by pointing out that who's Hannibal Buress, it's what he's really saying, or he could be saying. He's like, where did they get this guy to come and destroy Bill?
Yeah.
And by the way, let's talk about this for a second. What is the worst thing that Bill is accused of doing? Like, what is the worst of it?
The worst thing is, he's
no. Can you read it? Can you let's actually
read it? Yeah. Here, Bill Cosby, worst. That's right. Bill Cosby, worst crime. Basically, here's what he was convicted of. Here, convicted of aggravated indecent assault in 2018. Basically, there's a lot here.
Okay, the earliest allegation against Bill Cosby dates back to December 1965.
Yeah.
In 2005, Christina Rulli came forward as Jane Doe number 12.
Andrea Conson case.
The Cosby had drugged and assaulted her at that time in his Beverly Hills home. Further, Rulli said that she told her boyfriend about the incident, and he told and had told her daughter in the 1980s. Okay. So basically, what does that mean? I mean, they didn't even like really explain what it means that he assaulted her. What is it? Drugged and assaulted her.
See, there's a whole chart of like the women supposedly that he did stuff with, and when he did it, and when it was first reported. See, he's one of the most outspoken accusers. This is Barbara Bowman. Cosby mentored her until she turned 18, then offered her a drug-laced glass of wine and raped her in his New York home. Later, allegedly attempted to assault her in Atlantic City and attempted to destroy her career when she fought back. So basically, apparently this happened in 1986. Again, when his show was popular. She reported in 2005. So we're talking about like almost 20 years. Wait, Beverly Johnson, that's like...
No, so what I'm asking is, what is it exactly that they accuse him of doing? Of putting something
putting something in their drinks and then having raping them. Yeah, Cosby forced oral sex backstage, as one of the women's.
He forced it.
Yeah, here. There's one where it's like Cosby invited her to a party. I'm just reading different ones. To a party at his house where she was the only guest. Cosby then allegedly drugged and raped her. Teresa Sering.
So my question is, why does anybody, if as far as I understand, you're supposed to prove allegations, right?
Yeah.
So if these allegations are 30 years old, for instance, how can that be proved?
No, the problem
that's a primary question when it comes to these kind of things. I don't understand.
Here's the thing: it's very, very common for women that it is very common for women to whom this happens to, keep this kind of stuff in for a very long period of
That's
time.
that's not what I'm asking.
What's I don't understand what the question is.
Hang on a second. 1 second. Rafi wants to know too.
He's like, what are you thinking about, man?
Hang on. How's he doing? Okay, he seems okay for a second. So my question is, how do you prove that in court? Like how? I mean, witnesses.
The only way to prove it, and so to speak, in court is to when enough people come forward with detailed kind of.
So if you could okay, imagine this.
Listen, a lot of these women are testifying, under penalty of perjury under oath.
So basically, they got a bunch of women to come together. They collected a group of women to come together and to synchronize their stories, and that's what makes a person go to jail.
To be honest, I don't know if they necessarily got them to quote unquote synchronize.
No, that's what I'm assuming.
No synchronization. I mean, this all happened in different eras. Some happened in the 2000s, some in the 90s and the 70s.
Hang on, I'm sorry. Rafi has gone ballistic, folks. I'm gonna rock Rafi now. Rafi is being rocked. He needs to be rocked violently, by the way. Like it has to be like a really big swing. He doesn't, he's not into these little wussy swings.
He doesn't like, hospital like.
Yeah, it's like you got to really sweep. Like you're sweeping like a chimney sweep. It's like up and down, up and down. It's like that rocket ship ride, swinging right, in Astroland.
Yeah,
pirate ship. I think.
I feel like Astroland was one of the most dangerous amusement parks of all time.
Hang on. Oh, Rafi needs to be changed.
People died on the roller coaster at Astroland.
Hang on, sorry. Rafi has decided. He has decided to influence the world. His voice needs to be heard, right, Rafi? Well, he just needs to be changed, really. Oh, Rafi.
Yep.
I'm gonna play this for you one day.
We have our first.
I'm gonna play this for you one day, Rafi. Okay. All right. Honey, you got the stuff for the changing? Hang on. Sorry, guys. I know this is being live streamed.
Yeah.
Rafi doesn't give a flying F about that.
That's right. He doesn't care.
He's
like Honey Badger, and Honey Badger doesn't care. Rafi and Honey Badger have something in common.
Rafi's like, listen, the squeakiest wheel gets the oil, right? Gets the grease. How did I screw that up? The actual saying is the squeakiest wheel gets the grease.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my wife is not going to attempt to change him. Okay, I think once he realized that I realized what the issue is, he comes.
The jig is up, my friend.
Okay, back to Mr. Cosby here. Okay, so what I'm assuming is like this. Because here's what I'm saying. What actually happened, I don't know. Okay, but if you're a high profile person and somebody wants to harm you, your career wants to, they can get a group of people together, either pay them or blackmail them, whatever, right? And then get them to say what you want them to say, and then that's enough to put somebody in jail. Like that obviously there's a very serious flaw in the justice system. It's clearly very easy to abuse such a thing. Okay, that's really what I'm saying, So the fact that it's not, proven, innocent until proven guilty, right, is not obviously not being expressed here. That's not what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and for the ladies, if for those that really had something horrible happen to them, right?
Yeah.
Something like this is terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you have a bunch of fakers who abuse this kind of stuff, right? And it kind of diminishes it marginalizes the seriousness of what happened to women who really experienced something.
Dude, can I say something real quick? You should see a photo of one of the women that accused him. Dude, she looks like a freaking man. Like, I don't know it's like she's I mean, I guess she's a lesbian. I don't know.
Dude, I remember another thing.
She looks like
that some of the people
would want to.
It doesn't, obviously, I mean, that doesn't help, the legitimacy of these allegations. But what I'm saying is, one of the women, I don't think it's going to be here in this Wikipedia, but one of the women, or a couple of the women that accused them, they kept coming back.
Yeah. That's the whole weird part.
No, that's the part that makes this bullshit. That's the part.
That's the part that makes those situations bullshit.
Yeah. Okay. Like,
you could have listen. My theory. I mentioned my theory before. If you're talking about, I don't know what, 50 women, I think 2 something happened with, or maximum 5.
Right. So what I wanted to say before was, if for anybody, for men or women, if something like this happens, look, you have to come forward immediately. You have to.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, and the whole thing about, oh, I'm scared, or the guy was intimidating. Yeah, I understand that it's scary, but if you want justice, it's only available immediately.
Yeah.
You can't have cold justice in this kind of instance.
By the way, dude, you know why he was released? Because in 2018, I'm sorry, he was released in last year. Why? Because his constitutional rights were violated during the case. You mentioned innocent until proven guilty.
See, the thing is, there's so many constitutional rights being violated at so many, at all the steps, in this process. Yeah. So the question of, why something worked out for him, right, is it could have been, that he bribed somebody, you know what I mean? Like, because what you're seeing with Bill Cosby, because Bill Cosby is a political operative.
Yeah.
Okay. He was he's a big time Democrat.
Can I tell you something, man? He was really trying to, he kept saying to black men, pull up your pants, that kind of stuff. Black people didn't like this. Black people didn't like him airing out their dirty laundry.
That's not true, man.
No, some people
say that.
So some people agreed with him. I'm saying some people agree with him. A lot of people, dude, he was very close to like really changing the whole tide of what's going on in the black male community.
I think
people saw that and they're like, we have to put a stop to this. How do we put a stop to this? Find 50 women to say some stuff.
We talked about it yesterday. They did something similar to Kevin Costner. They essentially tanked his career when there was like potential for him to be like the biggest star in the world, and pay some schmuck critic to say, oh man, the most insane
Waterworld sucks.
Waterworld was the most amazing movie ever, and it would have been like huge, and then that would have made him president. Like
Waterworld only made $260 million.
Yeah,
or $100 million, but it sucked.
Yeah. So they tried because these guys, like all right, Reagan was proof of concept. You could have a Hollywood actor become a president, right? So since that time, you have all these like Hollywood actors with aspirations. Like you've heard murmurings about what's his name, Clooney, right? So that's not a new thing. You have like these people who are gonna, now you're talking about McConaughey, right? McConaughey was the last one. to come out and, you know, he start like just talking bullshit, you know, gun safety or, you know, gun rights and all that kind of stuff. He's against it. You know what I mean? He wants to. So I think that Cosby, he was trying to make a move, politically speaking, that was different than what was going on in the party that he's a part of. Okay. And he wanted to take it in a different direction. Okay. So they destroyed him. That's all this is. Okay. They got a bunch of women to get their stories together from 30 years prior. Okay. And that's it. I mean, that's what this is. Okay. So, and I'm not saying he's a good guy either. You know what I mean? He's definitely political operative.
Yeah.
Okay. But so all we're seeing here is like an internal, whatever you call it, you know, an internal war.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a civil war within
They
this
eat their young.
faction.
They eat their young, or they're old in this case.
They'll eat anybody who doesn't, you know, who doesn't like go
fall in line.
Listen, you could see this going on. Like this is exactly what the commies did. Like in every country, like Russia. Think about Stalin. Think about all these guys that he whacked.
Yeah.
Right. And all these people that were forced to, you know, to resign, you know, dishonorably, or they committed suicide, or all this kind of stuff.
Which is precisely why once the old guard of the Democratic Party is done using these little children, these little babies in college with their hair and their little screaming about their uterus and all this other stuff, they will, I mean, in this case, they won't kill them. They will just forget about them. Just like they forgot about Black people, just like they forgot about, you know, the gay guys who they gave the AIDS to and they didn't want to help out. That's it.
You're not going to forget about them. They're gonna be the first.
What I mean,
the first ones to be incarcerated or executed.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Forget about as in their supposed plight. But yeah, they were going to be the first ones to be, you know, whatever.
Because while the powers, you know, the powers that be, right, while they can use them as shock troops, so you know they're going to keep them alive, right, and feed them.
Yeah, all the while saying that there's no such thing as Antifa.
Yeah,
and
then once they're not necessary anymore, right? They're too unruly.
Yeah. So
now you got to get rid of them.
Yeah, that's why AOC even now is like, I never wanted, you know, defund the police. Even though she said she wanted to defund the police.
She said it every time.
But that's not what we said. That's what you said. Just like Mousy, he comes out and says, I never said lockdowns. And then there's a tape. Literally, dude, it's like, you know what I call him? The Rick James of COVID. He's like, what are we? I'm just going to go on, you know, here. I want people to hear this. They're speaking of Dave Chappelle show. Here you go. Yeah.
Grinding my feet in his couch. Because then he could buy another one. When you're rich, motherfucker. That was just come on. I mean, what am I gonna do? Just all of a sudden just jump up and grind my feet on somebody's couch like it's you know, something to do. Come on, I got a little more sense than
Rewind.
Yeah, I remember grinding my feet in his couch.
Dude, it's like that's Fauci today.
That's all of them.
Yeah, I never just yeah. I know what.
You know what else is funny? I want to know if you can hear this, because this is like, there's a YouTube channel called I'm Not Norm, and I think this channel is like has a big role in like reviving.
Yeah, I found it. Yeah.
Right. So the last video is he's not a good doctor, and he's talking about Kevorkian in here. You can literally just replace Kevorkian with Fauci.
Yeah.
Oh, can I play it for a minute? Just
I'm playing.
Well, a study this week reports seafood is good for you unless it's fried. Yet another groundbreaking story from the pages of the medical journal
That's like today, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like showers cause heart attacks. What?
Yeah.
The new study says that people who quit smoking have healthier lungs. Yet another groundbreaking story from the pages of the medical journal
He's gonna get to Kevorkian in a second.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, here you go. Here you go. There you go. This is the Kevorkian part.
Dr. Jack Kevorkian was responsible for another death this week, this time a 58-year-old woman. She is the 26th of Kevorkian's patients to die since 1990. When are people going to realize he is not a good doctor? Do not go to this man. He's incompetent. He's terrible. Dr. Jack Kevorkian and 7 associates have unveiled new guidelines for doctors in planning physician-assisted suicide. Rule number 1, get paid in advance. In Michigan courtroom this week, Dr. Jack Kevorkian was acquitted of murder charges after jurors agreed that he had made a compelling argument for assisted suicide.
It's crazy.
Last week, during his latest trial on charges of assisted suicide, Dr. Jack Kevorkian startled a Michigan courtroom when he stood up and shouted, "This is a lynching." Everyone turned to look, and sure enough, he just lynched some old guy.
Yeah. You know, Jack Kevorkian, by the way, can you stop it for a second?
Yeah.
He's probably going to say, I don't, by the way, the volume on your side went really down from my,
Oh, really? Okay. No, because the volume changed on the YouTube.
on the video. Okay.
Yes, the videos.
At some point, like I remember in one of these, when he's talking about Kevorkian, like on Weekend Update, there's one time where Kevorkian accused his detractors from being right-wing extremists.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay, can you maybe he's gonna? Is there a lot more? Like how many minutes
Yeah,
left?
yeah. There's like a few minutes more.
Okay, just play it a little longer.
Jack Kevorkian will sit for his first ever in-depth interview. According to producers, Kevorkian agreed to the interview only on condition that it be conducted by veteran correspondent Andy Rooney.
The hell?
Wait. Don't do it, Andy. It's a trap.
Yeah, Andy's like really old.
Andy's an old guy, right?
Yeah. God.
This week, Dr. Jack Kevorkian was granted an emergency 30-day permit to carry a handgun after telling the court that he fears, quote, right-wing nuts.
Oh, there you go.
But if you ask me, I think Kevorkian's just getting a little lazy,
Yeah.
The smiles are cracking up.
Authorities in Pontiac, Michigan are trying to determine if Dr. Jack Kevorkian was involved in the death of a woman whose body was found in the back of his suicide van. You know, I'm no expert in police work, but yes. In music news, Dr. Jack Kevorkian has performed and recorded a 1-hour CD of his own jazz compositions for the flute. You know, Dr. Kevorkian, I've listened to your CD, and I've got some advice. Don't quit your day job, all right? You know, murdering old people, stick with that. Stay away from the flute and stick with the murdering old people. Dr. Jack Kevorkian announced this week that he will start to offer organs taken from his suicide patients to people who need transplants. In addition, Kevorkian promised that anyone who does not get a life-saving organ will receive a free murdering. There was outrage in Detroit this week when Dr. Jack Kevorkian helped a woman commit suicide in a local church, leaving her body inside the church building. According to Kevorkian, murdering people in his van has almost completely lost its sense of blasphemy.
Yeah. You already said?
Yeah.
Stop for a second. Norm Macdonald had really good instincts about people. He's like, he's portraying Kevorkian the way he actually is. Like he was trying to do the most. If you were a Satanist, right, you would do what Kevorkian does.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Can I read you about Kevorkian's background?
Yeah.
Kevorkian was born in Pontiac, Michigan in 1928 to Armenian immigrants from present-day Turkey. His father, Levon, was born in the village of Pasen near Erzurum, and his mother, Satenig, was born in the village of Govdun near Sivas. His father left Armenia in the Ottoman Empire and made his way to Pontiac in 1912, where he found work at an automobile foundry. Satanik fled the Armenian genocide of 1915, finding refuge with relatives in Paris, and eventually reuniting with her brother in Pontiac. Levon and Satanik met through the Armenian community in their city, where they married and began their family. The couple had a daughter, Margaret, in 1926, followed by son Murad is Dr. Kevorkian, and the third and last child, Flora. When Kevorkian was a child, his parents took him to an Orthodox church. Weekly, he started questioning the existence of a God, as he believed that an all-knowing God would have prevented the Armenian genocide. Speaking of our conversations, his extended family, he stopped attending church by the time he was 12.
You see, this is what I have to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
This is what happens when a person is half a schmuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What I mean to say is, like, you have a legitimate question, but the conclusion that you come to, idiotic. It's childish. It's immature.
Yeah. Correct.
The fact,
he was a kid at that time. He was 12.
Oh, but he operated under that assumption. That was the leading thing in his whole life. That was his motivation. Like, if there were a God, then he wouldn't allow this to happen. Why? Why is that true? Can somebody explain to me? For the folks at home, if you've ever had that thought, explain to me why.
Well, a lot of people say good because God is good, right? They tell us God is good. You know, this kind of very reductionist Christian, cutesy, idea that God is good and he only wants good, whatever the hell good is, then he would not do bad.
Yeah, but again, can't you imagine that? Actually, it says here that he was a child prodigy. Sorry, that was a little bit ADD, but basically, can't you imagine that God has his own standards?
Yeah.
That he does stuff.
My friend, now
he doesn't give a damn how you feel about it.
Sir, you're getting now into, at best, if you're a Christian, I guess Augustine basically talked about the things that most of the Hashkafa masters in our community talked about. So now you're getting into things that most non-Jews are not even privy to.
No, but just listen. Before I came in contact with Hashkafa, and for the folks at home, Hashkafa is philosophical outlook.
Yeah.
Okay, from the Torah. Okay, I didn't have access to it either. Yeah. But just the thought itself, like, I always realized that maybe God's a jerk.
You're a Pintele Yid, that's why. Hold
on.
Connected to Hashem, and we cannot disconnect from Hashem no matter what he does.
Right. So what I'm saying, I don't know if, like, my conclusion of, well, what if God's a jerk comes from the Pintele Yid.
No, it does actually.
I mean, to me, right? And I'm saying that I always thought it was just kind of like a logical argument, like the fact that stuff happens that's horrible to us and we don't like it, right? All that doesn't prove that God doesn't exist. If anything, it proves that he has his own, that we don't like him, that he does stuff we don't like.
The first guy to yell at God was, if I'm not mistaken, it's either Yaakov or Moshe Rabbeinu.
It was probably Abraham, no?
Abraham, like, yell at God, be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yaakov did that? When did Yaakov do that?
No, I mean, well, Israel, the name Israel is wrestled.
Oh, Yisrael, right.
Yeah.
Wrestle, right, because he wrestled with the angel, right?
Yeah.
The angel. Well, that's how God interacts with the universe through these angel fellas. But yeah, I guess I see what you're saying there. Dude, I'm so creeped out right now. I'm so creeped out. Holy crap. I just saw something which is not. This guy was born on May 26th. That's my birthday.
Yeah, but that's the secular birthday.
Yeah, I know, but still, like, to me, like, even though, like, ever since I became, like, religious, I know, I was like the 22nd of ER. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Somehow May 26th is still more important to me. You know what I mean? It's just like it made two.
Do you know who I share a birthday with? I'll tell you who I share a birthday with. December 9th, famous birthdays. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kirk Douglas.
Well, okay, so that's obviously you don't have to deal with having the same birthday as Kevorkian.
Dame Judi Dench.
All right, that's getting closer to Kevorkian.
Yes. John Malkovich, another Gehenna creature.
Why? Well, wait, hold on. Why?
He also has that face where he played that Russian.
Oh, okay. You mean like he's one of those creepy looking actors? Okay.
Yeah, he's not. I don't mean he's from Gehenna. I just mean he plays. He can play. He has range. He can play like a villain guy.
Yeah.
You know the guy Simon Helberg, the guy in. He's a Jewish guy. He plays in Big Bang Theory. The Jewish guy.
Yeah.
Actually,
he looks like he looks like Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage's like I don't know, like special needs son or something like that, right? Like that's what he looks like.
Exactly. Felicity Huffman, the woman who went to jail for like the whole college scandal.
Oh, with Aunt Becky.
With Aunt Becky, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Angle, remember Kurt Angle, the wrestler?
No,
the guy, he was in WWF. Kurt Angle. He won actually a gold medal in real wrestling, but then he went into WWF after that.
What was his his character's name?
His character was just like he had like USA uniform. He's himself, Kurt Angle, like American hero, whatever. American gold medalist guy.
I don't remember that.
Donny Osmond. Remember the Osmond?
Yeah.
What was it? Donny Osmond.
So these are the people who have your birthday.
Yeah, and Lori Greiner. You know the chick on she's the blonde chick on Shark Tank, that investor woman.
Yeah.
Her also. I think she's Jewish. Maybe?
She's the younger woman.
I don't know,
right?
she's that young. I mean, she's blonde.
There are like two women there, or is that? I think I'm mixing
She
something
was
up.
the one that had all that. She made all the money on like QVC. She's the queen of QVC.
Okay, yeah, no, that right. I got you.
So that's like I have the same birthday with these people. But yeah, that's May. What did I say? May 26th.
Yeah, I think me and Lenny Kravitz.
I'll tell you
Kevorkian.
I'll tell you who. Helena Bonham Carter, the chick from
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
John Wayne.
John Wayne was May 26th.
Right.
I am redeemed.
Scott Disick, you know, the boyfriend of one of the Kardashian girls.
That's not. I don't want it. You can have him.
Lenny Kravitz.
Yep.
Stevie Nicks from
All right, I'm 50-50 on that one.
Lauryn Hill, you know, great singer but a racist.
Yeah.
Miles Davis.
Miles Davis, yeah.
Dope. Hank Williams Jr. You know that guy that sang he sang the Monday night. It's a Monday night party.
Yep.
Pam Grier.
Redemption.
Yes.
She's a pretty lady with big boobs.
And now we go for the opposite. Jeremy Corbyn.
Oh shit. Dude, I don't think any more. If I have the same birthday as Jeremy Corbyn and Kevorkian. By the way, they have the same. No, I guess Kevorkian was. Corbyn was with a C. All right.
Are you ready for more, my friend?
I don't know if I am, dude.
Miley Cyrus's sister, Brandy Cyrus.
All right. I mean, she's just like a civilian, like whatever.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Bobcat?
May 26, 19.
Dude, I'm redeemed.
Yes, that's it. We just
Bobcat from the 80s. Not now. But from the 80s.
This is so weird.
Holy crap.
You know who else? Matt Stone, one of the South Park guys.
Really? Okay.
And then there's a bunch of these like athletes. Dude, man, Bobcat Goldthwait. You and Bobcat Goldthwait,
that's crazy, man, right?
We just spent like the last 2 days talking about him. You have the same birthday as Bobcat Goldthwait. Sally Ride, you know the woman in space, the one that I think died in the she died in the
Challenger, the Columbia.
No, not the Challenger, the 2012 oh no, I'm sorry, she died at home. I thought she died in one of these.
We just talked about Joseph Fiennes, that actor. He also has my birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, May 27th. You're May 26th, right?
Google says 26, man. I don't know.
No, I mean Wikipedia says 27. No, whatever. I don't know. Weird.
The first picture, look, I go on this website. The website is JG-TC. Oh, Journal, Gazette, and Times Courier.
Oh.
And it says celebrity birthday. First one they show is Bobcat.
Hilarious.
And then we got Brent Musburger.
Oh, that guy, the college football
Yeah,
commentator.
he's a sportscaster, right?
Yeah.
Then we got some smokestack, Elizabeth Harno. I don't know who she is, but she's 43. Hank Williams Jr. Yeah, Helen Bonham.
By the way, our friend Stuyvesant just asked if he be on the
No,
podcast.
no.
All right, next episode. We'll tell him next episode.
Yeah. Lenny Kravitz, Pam Grier.
Yes.
Stevie. Dude, I don't know why I said no. It's way funnier to say that than not to say it. That's why I said it. But yeah, no, I mean, we gotta like.
Yeah. John Wayne, that's cool.
Yeah, but Kiefer Sutherland, we never got onto that, you know?
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna go to Kiefer Sutherland. There's a lot to talk about there, you know?
Kiefer Sutherland, man. The first time I saw him, I'll tell you the first movie I saw him in, and it wasn't Stand By Me, or the first movie that I can remember seeing, because Stand By Me, now that you mention it, I remember, I guess he was in it, but I don't remember seeing him in it. I saw.
No, he's also Hollywood royalty, by the way. His father, Donald.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland, yeah, obviously. But I'll tell you, I have to go through his filmography to tell you which movie I saw him in. I saw him in the first time in Young Guns.
Oh yeah, that's right, Young Guns, man. That was huge,
Guns,
right?
Young Guns, and I also
late '80s.
But I really saw him in Three Musketeers in 1993. And then what else? Young Guns was the movie that I remember him really, that was like where I remember him from. Also, one second. I'm just looking through all the movies that he was in. I think that's basically it. Yeah, Young Guns. This is the first time I remember seeing him. Anything before that? Not really. I mean, Lost Boys he was in, but I hadn't seen it. I had never seen it. Young Guns, I think was the first time I saw him. With Emilio Estevez, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charlie Sheen.
Lou Diamond Phillips, man, another '80s guy who just like completely
off the map, totally
just disappeared.
Hey, every time I think of Lou Diamond Phillips, I think of the scene from when he's, there's the math teacher teaching the Mexican kids, and
and
he's like the vato, but then he's really smart. His friend drops out of class because his friend's like a gang member. And then they're all sitting in the summer in the heat, and he's like, "Hey, Kimo, what's calculus?" And then the guy's like, "Come on, guys, here, I'll play this for you. Stand and deliver.
Stand and deliver. That's right.
Yeah. Here, summer class, summer school. Think cool. Here, they're all hot as balls, and like they're trying to cool down in the summers. They're preparing for the AP exam, which they all got like 4s and 5s on. They, basically, and they accuse them of cheating because no Mexican kids ever got like passing grades in that test. Here, everybody's at the pool. Now they're sitting in a room, like trying to cool down.
Yeah.
See, it's amazing how they like. You see, like the guys passing. It's like the way they filmed it. It's like the heat. You feel the heat.
Yeah.
East LA.
Somebody give Claudia an orange. Okay, sit down. You think I want to do this? The Japanese pay me to do this. They're tired of making everything.
See, another one of these. The Japanese are tired of making everything.
Yeah.
You guys to pull your own weight.
Dude, by the way, he won an Oscar for this. By the way.
Edward James Olmos, right?
Yeah, he won an Oscar for this. Yeah. Oh, here's the vato. Here's the.
I thought this room was supposed to be air conditioned, man.
Think cool.
Think cool.
see his face. Cool. Here, I want to like. Here you go. What's calculus? Here.
We'll go step by step, inch by inch.
Inch by inch.
Calculus was not made to be easy. It already is. Remember the good times we had last summer? Do you remember when things were really jumping good? Yeah. Well, the good times are gone with the wind. It's now the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh, come on. A contract? I mean, you can't trust us by now?
For those of you making the commitment, you will be preparing yourself for the advanced placement test. Make sure you have one. Make sure it's signed before you come to class tomorrow.
We have to come to school an hour before school.
Dude.
Periods and stay until 5.
Dude, can I ask you?
This is just. There's like a minute. There's like 50 seconds left.
Okay.
Don't. Saturdays? Yeah, come on, Saturdays? No vacation? Yep, pass the AP exam and you get college credit.
Credit.
No, we're seniors. This is our year to slack off.
How about you, Johnny? Be able to make it Saturday morning playing in your band Friday night?
Look, you love scaring us into doing stuff, man. I know. That gets old real fast.
So now he comes in.
People, you proud of me? I'm the first dude here. What's calculus?
I came late.
That was Lou Diamond Phillips, right?
Yeah. Hey, Kimo, you proud of me? What's kind of cool?
Dude, do you remember this movie? Which is called Flatliners. Have you seen this?
Yes, I haven't seen it, but I know the movie you're talking about. It's like
you never saw it, but you never saw it.
Roberts. I saw like parts. I remember when the movie came out, 1990, right? Something like that.
Oh, it was like I think it was
1990. I'm looking at it now.
That was at 89. Okay.
No, 90, whatever. Yes, Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, William Baldwin, who also fell off the universe.
Yeah. Which way? Hold on. Was he the youngest brother? Or is he like the middle one?
Stephen is the youngest and the conservative one.
Oh yeah, William was like he was the guy in that movie.
William was the guy who was like in Sliver and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Backdraft.
No, so I'm not going to talk to you about this movie, but this movie was like this. Flatliners had an impact on me. Basically, what they would do, they're these doctors. I think they're either in med school or they're residents or something like that, and they would flatline. They would go. They want to explore the afterlife.
Yeah.
And so basically, and then they have these experiences when they're under, right? And these like people that they wronged came back and just started terrorizing them and stuff like that. It's really kind of messed up. It's actually sad.
It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you look at William Baldwin. Sorry, he was like the '90s guy. That's when his career essentially. I mean, he had some movies in the 2000s, but his career essentially ended really in the 90s. It was like Sliver and then like a couple other movies.
Sliver, and then there was this, if I can remember, I think it was 3 of Hearts.
There was Fair Game with Julia Roberts also.
Yeah. And, awesome. I mean, horrible.
Sorry, not Julia Roberts, Cindy Crawford.
Cindy Crawford, horrible movie, but you get to look at Cindy Crawford, so there's that. Okay, but no, so there's this one movie that I remember him, which is really weird, where he was a male prostitute.
3 of Hearts. This is it.
Was that what he fell in love with Sherilyn Fenn?
Yeah, he's a gigolo. His lesbian best friend and her former lover, an attractive bisexual woman, Sherilyn Fenn.
Yeah, and the other woman was
Kelly
Lynch, another one that you don't see anymore. Like,
yep.
Fell off the map. She was the hot chick in Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Yeah, she's still. I mean, she's 63 years old. She's already. Yeah, she's collecting. What's it called? Social Security.
Social Security. Yeah, for a while already.
3 of Hearts. Oh my God. Backdraft was one of these movies that came out.
Yes, that's right. He was in Backdraft too. He's one of the main guys in that.
All the freaking firefighters. Kurt Russell. Donald Sutherland was in Backdraft. Actually, Robert De Niro was in Backdraft. I didn't know this. Really? Who did he play? The hell? Inspector Donald Shadow Rimgale, Office of Fire Investigation. That's really weird. He was in that movie. Jennifer Jason Leigh. Another one of those people.
She has my heart. whatever. She does. She has it. Ever since the Hitcher. In that movie, The Hitcher, that's it. I'm hers. She can have it.
Speaking of weirdos, the Clint Howard was in Backdraft, and he played a morgue attendant. Surprising.
Yeah, that's about right. That sounds.
I
I don't remember that, but that sounds like a good role for him.
Jason Gedrick, our favorite failed, the one that played in Iron Eagle we were talking about. So he's in this. He's in Backdraft.
The kid who.
Yeah. Probationary fighter, Tim Krasinski. Scott Glenn, another weird face guy.
Yeah, but he wasn't like. Yeah. I don't think he was a creep.
No. He's
usually like the good guy, but kind of weird.
Weird, like good guy.
He was. I think he played like the FBI director in Silence of the Lambs. But he also played. He played one of the astronauts in The Right Stuff. That movie, The Right Stuff.
Here, Silence of the Lambs was what, 80? Yeah, he played Jack Crawford, fictional character.
Dude, do you know? Interesting. You know that movie Man on Fire that was like with Denzel Washington?
Yes.
The original Man, that was a remake. The original Man on Fire, I think he was the original Man on Fire.
What?
Yeah.
With 1987 film. Yeah, Scott Glenn. There you go. 1987. Man on Fire. The heck?
There's this other movie. Hold on. I gotta find Scott Glenn. Is there a movie where he's a samurai?
Scott Glenn?
Yeah, there's a movie where he's like the first like white guy samurai. Hold on,
this is like before The Last Samurai, like a Tom.
No, this is in the 80s. And the guy who played the main guy was Mifune, the guy who played in all the classic Kurosawa, hold on. Mifune, Toshiro Mifune, probably the most famous Japanese actor. He's like the Laurence Olivier of Japan.
You're talking about this is an 80s movie?
Yeah. And this is a movie. Hold on. Early.
Well, I know this actor, yeah, of course I know.
Yeah. So hold on. In the 80s, I'm going through his filmography. Everything's in Japanese.
Yeah.
Hold on. So the demon. Oh man.
There's one called The Challenge. John Frankenheimer, yeah. So he's in, The Challenge.
And that's Scott Glenn, right?
Scott Glenn. He plays Rick Murphy here. A katana, one of a pair known as the Equals, was an heirloom of the Yoshida family passed down through the generations before being lost during World War II. It was finally tracked down and recovered in California by Toshio and Akiko. Hoping to return its rightful owner, their father Toru, Toshio hires down on his luck prizefighter Rick Murphy to smuggle the sword back to Japan. Upon their arrival, Murphy and Toshio are captured by Hideo's thugs. Murphy learns that the sword is fake and himself a decoy intended to ward off potential thieves. Toshio is murdered and Murphy is faced with the prospect of being killed by Toru's brother, a well-connected Korumaku, Black Curtain in English, a fixer who works behind the scenes for the Yakuza, named Hideo. Murphy escapes Hideo's thugs and is rescued by Akiko before he is murdered. Murphy awakens in Akiko's family home and after a brief stay departs with his money. Hideo's thugs find Murphy and instead of murdering him, they advise him to infiltrate Yoshida's martial arts school and obtain the sword. He does so, yet finds himself being drawn into the ways of Japanese etiquette. It's almost like The Last Samurai kind of thing. And
yeah, man, that's where they got this.
To the point where he returns the sword to Toru himself after having the perfect opportunity to escape with it. Murphy then humbly asks Toru if he can be forgiven and taken back in because he wants to learn the ways of Bushido. Toru agrees, but only if Murphy follows Toru's conditions. Murphy continues to be humble, to bumble his way through life at Toru's school until, after a treacherous and almost fatal attempt by one of the higher members of the school to steal the sword, he leaves and is found in a hotel in Kyoto by Akiko, Toru's only daughter. Oh, of course, there's a finding romance. They go out to see the sights and sounds of the city, including watching a Shinto ceremony. During the hubbub of the crowded parade, Murphy and Akiko get separated, and Hideo's henchmen kidnap her and deliver her to her uncle. Toru, laden with ancient weaponry, ventures out to Hideo's industrial complex, where he is shot and wounded by Hideo's bodyguard Ando. Ando is slain by Hideo for this, and Murphy, who has joined him in his quest, opts to fight Hideo to defend his sensei. Murphy manages to kill Hideo and present the equals to Toru. The swords, I guess.
Scott Glenn.
What a weird
dude. Here, listen to this. The critic Dennis Schwartz gave the film C+ grade, calling it a pointless, low-level Chuck Norris flick.
So weird.
I think I described it the same way.
They have the whole movie on YouTube. The whole movie.
Yeah.
Hilarious. This is very funny.
It's weird, no, because I remember seeing him in this movie, and I was thinking to myself, it seems like Scott Glenn is like a little bit more serious of an actor. Like, why would Mifune and John Frankenheimer and make this movie? It's a strange thing.
There's a Japanese smokestack in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have a smoke. This movie's from '82.
Yeah, well, this is already like 10 years into his career. He was in Apocalypse Now before that. I don't know why he got him involved with this movie.
No, because Toshiro Mifune, you know what I mean? Like he's
so you wanted to be with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the female person in this movie is
Atsuo.
There's not
Atsuo.
Nothing too shabby going on here.
Yeah. So how do we guide this to something meaningful?
How do we go into Keith of Sutherland? I mean, we want to talk about.
No, we don't. No, I mean, we don't have to stay on Keith.
I mean,
it seems like the universe is like guiding us away from Kiefer. You know what? So
really? Because I thought you wanted to talk about like Lost Boys.
I know we tried twice, and it's just like we keep getting like
because there's so much, You see again when we get into the wiring of things, like we just get caught in the wiring.
This conversation that we're having is kind of like a subconscious reverie.
Yes.
It's just like a mixture of sights, sounds, and memories just swirling around in your subconscious, right? Yeah. Just a real stream of consciousness, I think.
But it's good to do that because otherwise you're gonna see the stuff this is the kind of stuff you see in dreams, and it's just like you don't know what to make of it. At least here, you're verbalizing things and you're relating them to things.
When I was reading stuff about how to interpret dreams, from the Torah's perspective, and the Ramchal has a lot to say about that. So, unfortunately, back in the day, it was much easier. It's unfortunate for us, but back in the day, it was much easier to kind of navigate your subconscious and to interpret dreams. You know why? Because people didn't see as much crap as we do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we ingest so much garbage, and our hard drives, so to speak, have to spit it all out at night.
No, but so basically the way it works is that the angels, if they wanted to communicate something to you, right, in a dream, so they would enter your subconscious and use the images and the memories of the things that you've seen as Lego blocks. And then they would craft a message for you with these visual cues, right? With these memories, with these symbols, using symbols. And you're supposed to interpret it. Okay? And people didn't have that many like fantastical images in their minds because, I mean, nobody saw movies, right? Like you might see like a painting or something like that, but very rarely.
Yeah.
A mural. You would hear a story, right? You'd see a statue at some temple or something like that, right? And that kind of stuff that would enter your subconscious, and then those images would be used by these angelic beings to communicate stuff to you, right? So now that's all we have. We only have we have this giant like jumble, this soup of images, and so even if the angels would come and start using them, it wouldn't stand out from the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So by the way, here's another way to know that you're receiving a real message from heaven, let's say. Okay. When the things that you're seeing are so drastically different than anything that you've ever like entertained or experienced.
Yeah.
Right now, it's much harder because of science fiction, because of fantasy, because of all this stuff that people have ingested. Right? Anything that I would imagine that anything that the angels like try to show you, right? That's it's they can't find anything that's different because like the movies have already, you know what I mean? They've infested every topic. There's movies about heaven, there's movies about space, there's movies about, like, you never know if you're just like seeing something from your subconscious or you're actually seeing something real.
Yeah.
So it screwed us up.
Yeah. Correct.
In that respect, we're gonna have to, figure out a different way to receive communications from heaven.
Well, I mean, we spoke about this whole thing of what's that book, the one that Rabbi Kessin talks about, but it's kind of dangerous, that whole thing.
Well, no, that's a little different.
Yeah.
That's a book where, among other things, it teaches you. It doesn't teach you actually. It's actually not a good instructional because there's a lot of missing stuff. Like the actual ingredients that make it work are not stated there.
Yeah.
Because this kind of stuff you can never learn from a book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You always have to receive it. You have to be initiated into it. So
almost like the, John Glenn and the dojo.
Scott Glenn, sorry,
not John Glenn. You can't just be like, oh, I'm a samurai now. You have to learn from a samurai.
Yeah, I guess.
Where it's like when Shidoshi told Van Damme that he can't teach him. Can I play? I just want to play that scene. Here.
All right.
Bloodsport. He wants him to teach him. Oh, here you go. I'm telling you, this movie is underrated is not even the word. Bloodsport. Underrated is not even the word.
No, it's literally the enemy of every intellectual film critic. There's,
and you know what? Good.
Yeah.
Here, hold on.
I feel that Bloodsport too. Shingo and I are close friends, brothers.
Oh, this is his son.
You
died.
and Mrs. Kaneka have treated me like a son.
The hair there is funny. His hair is funny.
Just don't know. But you have so much to teach.
You don't understand. In the war, I lost my first family. Son. Wife. To live in Hiroshima. I left Japan because war was wrong. I came here to start over. Became a new family, a son. Another chance to pass on the teaching. For 2,000 years.
The actor, his name is Roy Chiao, Chinese guy.
Yeah.
Pass from father, son.
He was in Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. He was like the first. He was like the Chinese mafia dude.
Yeah.
Shingo died.
What is this from the? Is this from the original movie, or is this from
This is when he's asking him to teach him, and he's explaining to him because it's here. Listen.
I can't hear it that well.
Sorry, it's just very quiet. I can do it.
You are not Japanese.
You're not Japanese.
Yeah, you're not
Tanaka.
Technique that works. Never to limit myself to one style. To keep an open mind.
Why?
To honor you,
Shidoshi. Here you go. This is the training.
Yeah, the training montage.
The music in this movie is incredible.
Yeah, the music is the movie. People.
Yeah. Can I play you my favorite part of my favorite musical part of Bloodsport?
Sure.
It's when he, he throws the stuff in his eyes.
Are you sure that this is also not going to be copyrighted and thrown off of the tubes of you?
Listen, screw that. Listen. This is the best. This is probably the best.
I can't hear it, dude. Yo.
Yeah, you can't hear it all?
No.
Hold on. Let me.
I want to feel it like you're feeling it, man. I want to.
I'm trying to get like a loud clip, but it's just not. Hold on. Yeah, this is the last fight. I don't know.
How does Jamie do it, man? How does Jamie pull up these clips and it sounds perfect?
Hold on. Yeah, I'm scanning through. Hold on. Can you hear?
No, not really.
Really?
Oh, hold on. I'm hearing something now. I'm hearing something. This is crazy, dude. Yeah. Oh, you know what's best? The screaming sequence. He's like,
yeah. He's like remembering all his training.
Yeah, he's remembering all his training, and then he gets all zen, right?
Yeah.
It's actually a beautiful soundtrack.
Yeah. It's into like the fight, whatever.
This movie and also Point Break had a stunning soundtrack.
But I'll tell you, man, 1492 Conquest of Paradise and what's the other one? No, same guy, Vangelis for Blade Runner.
You know what's funny? Like that movie 1492. I was like, when it would, I would be kind of like frightened of it because it really depressed me. How badly they're being portrayed and how badly they treated the natives.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to watch it, but I'm at the same time I'm like, boobs. All right. Trade off. Like this is like native women, the native women.
Yeah, they have like the arrival scene. It's like,
yeah.
Here.
No, it was actually very cinematic. Yeah. The way it was filmed, it was actually kind of.
Music was sick. Crazy. Yeah. Where did they film this movie?
I don't know, but it was not a good feeling to watch it. Like this is like this movie, Empire of the Sun. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah. The Last Emperor. Yeah. Like these kind of movies were big, like political cues. They were triggers. Yeah. You could say. I mean, they really affected the world very, very strongly.
Yeah.
The politics, the view of everything. Like.
Yeah. By the way, they filmed this in Spain, actually. In Seville, Salamanca, Caceres. Yeah, they filmed it all in Spain.
Even the tropical scenes?
Landfall, Costa Rica.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Costa Rica.
Yeah.
But yeah. The ships are dope, man. I don't know why this movie got bad.
I don't know, but you know what? You want to hear something interesting? This is like I can't figure out if this is an urban legend or if this is something that is actually real. And I haven't been able to track down the source of this rumor.
Okay.
But basically, when the ships arrived, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Marina, and this is the first time that the natives ever saw anything like it. Apparently, if you go according to conventional history. So they couldn't actually see the ships.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't process what they were seeing. They didn't understand what they were looking at. Like they didn't see ships. they didn't understand what it was, and they didn't look at it as a transportation device.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You ever heard that before?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, it doesn't seem like when I first heard that, I'm like, come on. I mean, like you don't see those, but it's an interesting thought, you know, like if it's true, it's like the thing that they're looking at was so outside of their experience, their brains filtered it because they couldn't handle the data that was coming in. And I wonder how much of that, if that's true, how much of that do we deal with? Like, you know, people like every day, like spiritual phenomenon, right? That is all around us.
Yeah.
And that we can't process it, which is why we don't see it.
Yeah.
Like there could be things that have a physical manifestation all around us that we literally cannot process it. So our brain decides to filter it out so that we can function. You ever think about that? Like how much of that actually, because on everybody is put into a position of being a native who is exposed to something that is beyond their ability to assimilate.
Yeah.
And that obviously has something to do with this phenomenon that we're seeing, you know, with the UFO stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and interesting, if this is all true, remember, big if, right?
Yeah.
It could be also an explanation as to why nobody's paying attention to it, even when it's in the news.
Yeah.
For like 6 years now.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to look at it. No, because they cannot assimilate it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's yeah.
Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I just wanted to.
I know.
I just wanted to look at it from that one.
I agree with you. I mean, it's difficult for people to. What do we do with this? There's people. Everybody. You know, it ranges from everything from even our friend Simon asked us, like, even if this is real, what do we do with this? Okay, that's just what we say in Russian.
Yeah, I mean that is a fair question. You know, it's up to the phenomenon. I mean, I guess to a certain extent, it's up to the phenomenon, but I think the ball is really in our court right now because it did make a gesture. The phenomenon, whatever it is, it made a gesture. It poked its ass into the news. Okay, so now, you know, now it's looking to see how people react to this. Like, how much, you know, are there inquiries about it? Are people, you know, Googling it? Are people looking for material to read up on it? Are people requesting more reports about it? Like that's what should be happening, right? But it's not happening, right? So the ball's in our court and we're dropping the ball, which means that now this phenomenon has to become even more aggressive. You know, like I don't know what it's going to take to get us to, you know, to take an interest and to, you know, to try to look at it. To take it seriously. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not sure.
I think it's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's yeah. If
They're gonna have to send something like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm communicating this into the ether. Hopefully something hears me, you know?
Yeah.
You know, what I'm really saying, I hope God does what I'm asking for. But honestly, I'm losing hope. I'm losing hope about this kind of stuff, even though it's still there. It's kind of just like it's hovering, and I'm losing interest.
The question is, why did Hashem? There's a reason Hashem put it into your mind, you know.
I thought it was because I'm supposed to play a small role in preparing people or getting them to look at it, so they're not like. Because for a couple of reasons, because this phenomenon itself has tremendous potential to get people to raise their consciousness, to get them to think about things they don't normally think about, like spirituality. What is life? What are we here for? Is, you know, what else is here? Why is it here? You know, these big questions which pull you out of your cubicle, you know, which make you forget about the TPS reports.
Yeah.
You know, or that Acapulco vacation package. Okay. And it'll make you forget about the stupid reality shows that you're watching. And it'll get you closer to thinking about the source of existence and questioning your existence and your I don't mean you, but you know, just people, you know, like your role, right? Also it'll lead to the idea of responsibility. Like if we're here and there's a purpose and there's a role to play, so you're gonna have to ask yourself, well, what's that? What does that mean for me? I mean, what do I have to do? How do I find out? And then how do I act on it? So these are the questions that we keep learning about in the Torah that people have to ask, right? This is what we're really supposed to be doing. So this phenomenon obviously is a tremendous gateway into this whole train of thought.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought that God wants me to talk about it for that reason, to prepare people, to get people to think. But that I'm doubting that because God's not letting a lot of people hear this, right? And at the same time, I thought that God would be assisting in the sense that he would ramp up the phenomenon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't get him, you know, I don't know how to work with what he's given us more than what I've been doing so far.
Same. Yeah.
So I'm kind of, you know, so I'm also kind of like getting a little demoralized not because I'm starting to doubt it. I'm just like, I'm starting to doubt that it's gonna become more intense and that it's gonna become more apparent. You know, it could just hover there, like for a long time. You know, and listen, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm living my life just to serve God. Okay. I know that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I know that's supposed to be the intention of everything that I do, but it's not. Okay. I have some interest in it, some personal interest in it as well. Okay. Now, whether that's right or wrong, okay, fine. You're going to say that's wrong. I don't know if it's wrong because how does serving God be the motivation for any kind of average person? Like, how does an average person use that as the motivation? Because there's not enough, at least for me, there's not enough like inspiration. You know what I mean? Like if God showed me a vision of some beautiful Shekhinah, you know, a woman that like blew me away, and all I can do all day is think about this experience, and I'm like a crackhead now, just craving this experience all the time. Fine. That's understandable why someone would dedicate their life to God. Okay. But that's not what I'm getting, right? You know what I mean? Like, so what am I supposed to do? Like, you know, so I have to figure out a way to motivate myself. Okay. And it's not for the ideal reasons, but I'm trying to work with what I got and align it with what I think God wants.
Yeah.
In terms of like personal inspiration, you know? So there needs to be something more going on, you know, because as real as it is, it's not what's that term for like a deadbeat dad? Not a deadbeat dad, like someone who's not there. An absentee father.
Yeah.
That's what God's like.
Yeah.
And that's what this phenomenon is like.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a glimmer of it. There's a rumor that Papa's gonna come and visit, right? He's gonna come to your recital. He's gonna come watch you play Little League, and he doesn't show up. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Right? Once again, he missed my birthday party.
Yep.
Okay. All the important things that I need him to be for, he's not there. Yep. You're telling me that he's and what the rabbis are saying essentially is that even though you don't see him, he's there from a distance. He's looking at it with binoculars, and he's clipping, he's getting the newspaper clippings about all your accomplishments and hanging it on his wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whatever the hell that means.
You don't know that. You're not going to know that until much later, right?
Whatever the hell that means. Yeah.
I'm just using all these like tropes from movies, like the absentee father, but who really cared, he couldn't be a part of your life because the mother was crazy and she was dating a mafia boss. Something stupid, like, some 80s plot,
Yeah.
you know, premise,
Yeah.
device, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So I think the last time actually I saw that premise was in that movie, the last Ghostbusters movie. You know, the one with Paul Rudd.
But which premise? What do you mean? Which premise?
Did you see it?
Oh yeah. I saw it. I saw it on the plane.
Right. So the granddaughter or the daughter, Egon's daughter.
Yeah.
Right. She thought that he just like went crazy and abandoned her, but then, you know, she saw like when she went to the property where he was living.
Yeah.
Right. And then she saw all the clippings that he was very, very proud of her, and he had pictures of her everywhere. Like, you know, she realized he was the only thing that she cared about.
Yeah.
She was the only thing that he cared about.
Yeah.
So, but she only understood that much later after he was gone. So that's the last time I saw that. But you know, that premise has been used in many stories and many movies. So.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to discover that cellar with all the clippings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
To use a metaphor. So I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah.
You know, people listening, investigate it, look into it. Just go on YouTube and click and type search Tucker Carlson UAP, and then just start with that. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Or you could look at this documentary called The Phenomenon.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that? Like I talked to you about it. Did you ever end up watching it?
Parts of it.
You see, Greg, you're the cork. You're the obstruction.
You know what the problem is like I'm trying to.
I can't even get you to watch it. I'm gonna get other people to watch
it. You know what the problem is? Because this topic has been turned into such a like enthusiast topic.
Yeah, like you have like these people called ufologists.
Yeah, and for me, you know,
I'm not into it.
Lights in the sky and guys telling me stories about, it's not that I don't believe them, I actually believe them. But
if you see the documentary,
yeah,
see that it's much more than lights in the sky and guys talking.
I get it. I'm saying what I'm looking for is some sort of, for myself, an experiential experience, either myself seeing these something, whether it's lights in the sky.
We got to take a trip. I only found out about this recently after my wife was pregnant.
Yeah.
But there's a place in North Carolina that is very, very likely to experience this. Right. I've been aware of it for a little while, but I've been kind of.
What is this? Where is it?
I don't want to give too much information about it. Okay. But there's basically because I have a kid now, I don't want to necessarily engage this phenomenon directly.
Yeah.
Because there's something that people call the hitchhiker effect.
Yeah.
That means it follows you home in a sense.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And remember, this UFO stuff, this isn't just like, aliens in jumpsuits, flying around in metal saucers. This is something way more than that.
Yeah.
This is paranormal.
Yeah.
Okay. It starts to bleed into the spiritual, the stuff that our culture, the Torah, describes as the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are just words.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but we're starting to actually see that. I don't know when people are going to begin recognizing it for what it is, but some people do. Okay. And the people who study like Skinwalker Ranch, places like that, they can tell you a lot about it. Do you know that they have a show on the History Channel called like the Skinwalker Ranch? It's like in its 3rd season.
No, I do not.
The problem, you see what they're doing? The History Channel is kind of clownish, right?
Yeah.
It's like, because of the, ancient aliens and the guy with the
turning this into like a gag.
Right. But the thing is that what you're seeing there, what they're showing you is actually real. And the people on that show are serious people.
Yeah. Because
it's on the History Channel, it's creating this plausible deniability where people can dismiss it. It's History Channel.
Yeah.
See, that falls into line with the way that they operate.
Yeah. No, I hear.
You know, make a movie about it so it's not taken seriously. Put it on the History Channel so it's not taken seriously.
Yeah.
And no one will. So
yeah, these are all psyops.
It's just getting, it's so that's, but that kind of stuff. Anyway, but if you want to engage the phenomenon, that's actually the term that people are using. There is a way to do it, but it always comes with risks.
Yeah.
If you're down, let's go on a road trip, man. That would definitely be interesting. We definitely have some interesting things to report.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually, since my uncle and my brother, I'm actually become much more willing to engage it. Because, you know what I mean? Because pretty much the only thing connecting me to or wanting me to have a stable existence, as however people would consider a stable life,
yeah.
In the material world, is my son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's this new anchor that was brought into my life to make me, not fly off into a distant galaxy or something like that, which I'd like to do. But I would be, so I'm not going to go to a distant galaxy, but I would be interested in going down to North Carolina. I'm not going to say where, and experiencing something called spheres.
Yeah, interesting. So what is the spheres?
They're these balls of light that appear in certain places around the world. Okay. And Chazal talk about them, by the way. Okay. So Bart Tzadok talks about them too. I mean, he brings the information from Chazal, but he's saying that basically when you have spiritual entities that still have some expression or some representative presence in this world, they're usually or very often found in the form of spheres of light. Some people who are a little bit familiar with the Dibuk stories, there's a book called Dibuk.
Yeah.
And there's stories from certain rabbis. So when you have souls, you have souls of people that essentially possess the bodies of living people, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to soul possession, it's from the Torah's angle, we're not talking about demonic possession or any other. We're talking about other human souls inhabiting or hiding within the body of people who are alive. They do this because they're trying to escape their judgment.
Yeah.
They don't want to, they're running away from the heavenly court, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
So, but when they're expelled, when you have the exorcists come, right? The rabbi knows what he's doing, like Rabbi Fatia, right?
Yeah. Fatah.
You say Fatia, I say Fatia, Fatia, Fatia. Tomato. Let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah.
So basically, when they exit the body, apparently these things, they exit the body through they could actually exit the body and damage and really hurt a person.
Yeah.
But the exorcist compels them to exit in the least painful way. So it'll go through like a toe, like the pinky toe.
Yeah.
And it'll somehow I don't know, it'll just exit through that.
Yeah.
It'll damage the nail, or it has some kind of physical effect, and it appears as a ball of light, very small. But these balls of light are described that they can actually change size. They could be like a little dot, they could be like a little golf ball, or they could be as large as a bus.
Yeah.
Apparently they have this flexibility in the way that they manifest themselves. I don't know what the mechanics of that is. We're talking about something spiritual, but there's definitely some kind of mechanics. Okay. And there's also this term which is called the Chazal, in Chazal, meaning the rabbis of blessed memory. They call it. There's a couple of things they call it. One of them is in the Talmud. They say the Halukah Derabanan. Have you ever heard this before?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so the most famous example of this is there's a rabbi who codified the Talmud. He compiled what we call the Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda the Prince.
Yeah.
Okay. He was actually, he lived a couple thousand years ago, 1900 years ago. He was best friends and essentially nearly honorary brother to Marcus Aurelius Antoninus.
Yeah.
Okay. It was probably the best of the Romans.
Yeah.
Okay. And Marcus Aurelius actually played a huge role in helping him to codify the oral law, the Mishnah.
Yeah.
So he has a huge merit.
Yep.
It's possible that it may not have been possible without Marcus Aurelius. So he has a big place of honor among the Jewish people.
Yeah.
So anyway, so after Rabbi Yehuda the Prince, and by the way, they called him Rebbe.
Yeah.
After he had physically passed away, he was reported to have come home on Shabbos. He would come home on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Right? And he would spend the Sabbath with his family in secret. And he had a presence that was tangible.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the body that he had when he was alive. It was sometimes described as an astral body, but it was physical enough to interact with matter, and it was present enough. It had some physical aspect to it, to where he was obligated to make kiddush.
Interesting.
So listen to this. When people go to the cemetery, right? They're supposed to hide. Like Jewish men, we wear a garment which is called a talit katan.
Yeah.
Right? And it has these fringes which are called tzitzit. So we're supposed, and so a lot of times, Orthodox Jewish men, they would the tzitzit, these fringes, these strings, you would see them hanging down from the guy, from the guy's shirt.
Yeah.
But when you go to the cemetery, you're supposed to hide the fringes, and it's a custom. And the reason that I was told for it was that the people who are dead, they don't have the opportunity to do commandments. So it makes, and they want to, and they realize how valuable it is, the opportunity to do mitzvahs while you're alive in this world. So we hide the tzitzis so it doesn't remind them that they don't have that opportunity, and so they won't be upset or jealous.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you keep that in mind, and then you think about the fact that Rabbi Yehuda, after he passed away, was able to come home and do mitzvahs. He was able to hold the kiddush cup. He made kiddush.
Yeah.
Right. So obviously we see that there is something. It's obviously not for everyone, but there is the opportunity, the ability for at least special people to have some kind of astral body which they can use to come and interact with the physical world.
Yeah.
Okay. So this astral body, which is, like I said, it was called the Halukah Derabanan, but it's also called the Guf Dak.
Yeah.
Guf, as you know, means body.
Yeah.
And Dak means subtle.
Yeah.
Right. So there is something,
Yeah.
And this body and angelic entities have a similar type of presence when they come to this world.
Yeah.
Okay. And it can appear as a ball of light, but it could also, they also apparently have the option to make it appear in other ways too.
Yeah.
Now, this phenomenon that the Torah talks about a lot is also heavily, it's probably the most common phenomenon when people talk about UAP experiences and sightings and interactions. Okay. So to me, I'm starting to see a connection. I don't know about anybody else listening to this.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bart Tzadok also, he sees the connection. So there's a couple of places on Earth where you can go, and this is very, very common. Anybody who goes there and they experience this. So I'm not saying that if I go to North Carolina and I see a ball of light, I'm going to assume that that's my brother and my uncle or my grandma.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to actually, not to actually see something or to experience something personally and not just read about it.
Yeah.
Or hear somebody else talk about it.
Yep. That's basically the point.
So for the folks at home, if Greg is down, I'll do it.
Yeah,
okay, so all pressure on Greg now.
Figure out a time and
Now, it sounds like a blow off, Greg.
No, it's not a blow off. It's just
that sounds like don't call us, we'll call you.
There's a lot going on.
It sounds like it's not
Apex,
me.
Apex Technical School. Call us because we can't call you.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember that commercial?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's another awesome 80s staple, right?
Yeah. Hold on. I even remember the guy. He's like this bald guy. Yeah.
Bald guy, right? He's wearing like a smock.
Yeah, here you go.
He's wearing like a doctor's like scrub almost, something like that.
Yeah.
A good trade, chances are you've already got a good job. If you haven't, better get one. Auto mechanic. Now there's a good trade.
That guy was right all along.
Yeah.
6 month training program for auto mechanics.
Yeah.
It's thorough because we work you hard. With a professional mechanic working alongside you, you tear down an engine and put it back together again, and do the same with the transmission. Carburetors, fuel injection, computer command control, electrical chassis, alignment, brakes, steering. It's all in your training program. When you complete your training and we recommend you for a job, you've got your own set of professional tools. Give us a call. Say when you can come in to look over the shops and see what financial assistance towards your training you're entitled to from the government. Now, I can't phone you. You have to take the first.
See, no, so they perfected this in.
You start out with an empty toolbox. You work alongside a professional mechanic. As you learn to use each tool, it goes in your toolbox.
Blah, blah,
Financial
blah.
assistance towards your training. You may be entitled to from the government.
Dude, I should have called, man.
Well,
Oh, it's now 645, 3300.
oh, I wanted.
Did you hear that number? Did you hear that number?
3300. Yeah.
That I definitely should have called.
I want to hear when he says here, Apex Technicals. Hold on.
No, I can't call you. Promises I've made to my food. You have to call us. 633.
I can't call you. You have to call us.
That guy from Apex is right. I'm tired of falling through on promises that I've made.
Oh my god.
Promises to the people I owe money to my family.
Oh my god.
Not to mention the promises I've made to myself.
This guy sounds like he's gonna be hit by the mafia.
Yeah.
For me to take charge and do something about my life.
Yeah, become a mechanic, become useful.
That's probably the type of guys that ended up going because they were like, oh my god, I owe Vinny some money. Maybe I should become a mechanic.
Go 212-630.
Now it's 633, 6300.
Literally the only people of value anywhere they go. Everybody needs a good mechanic. Everybody needs a good carpenter. Everybody needs a good electrician and a plumber and a doctor and somebody who knows how to make something that's essential.
Yeah.
You can't go without, a farmer who can produce food.
Call us because we can't call you.
I literally could have been a working electrician by now, making a decent living if it wasn't for fucking Fauci and Gates.
Wait, why? What?
Why? They caused COVID.
And you work.
And then my brother, he drafted me into this whole situation.
What do you mean by he drafted you? What? How did this all what did he say to you that made you work with him?
Well, the first conversation was he called me and he was saying I need your help because this COVID situation, we got hit really hard here, but it seems like I put something together that's actually saving people, that's working.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? And he explained how he got to that. And in that first conversation, he mentioned how my mom brought something to his attention, that's part of the protocol.
Yeah.
So, but
how did your mom know this? I mean, she's not a doctor.
No, because he was talking to her. He's like, I got to find something. So I'm researching. I'm looking at this. So she decided to see if she can find something.
Yeah.
So she started Googling, like everybody else.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
So basically, he called me,
Yeah.
and I told him, I was like, obviously this is clearly from God, and obviously you were given a tremendous gift to give to mankind, and obviously you have to tell as many people as possible, or else I feel like we're all going to be annihilated by God.
Yeah.
That's what I said to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, I feel a similar way.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a confirmational conversation, I feel,
Yeah.
where it really kind of brought the point. It sealed the deal.
Yeah.
And then he asked me to contact hundreds of patients that he had already treated,
Yeah.
and to collect their data, to ask them specific questions about their use of the protocol, when they started, what were their symptoms when they started, how do they feel within a certain time frame of taking the protocol, and I had to, there's so many, there's like 35 questions that I had to ask and collect from each patient. And there was like, I think like the first, I was up for like almost around the clock for 3-4 weeks collecting this information, which he used in his study, the one that he published.
Yeah.
with those 2 Germans.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was combined with some of his colleagues that adopted his protocol. And I also had to work with some of their patients as well to collect data. I was starting to lose my mind. I was so tired, and that's how I got into this. And I want to assume that he got me to do this because he couldn't really, you have to be sure that the person that's doing this is dedicated to the truth and to its success, and that is honest, and that is going to follow through with it. So I know that he knew that I would do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, that was only like 3 or 4 weeks, but it seemed like, it seemed, I don't know, it seemed like a lifetime, that process.
Yeah.
You know what it's like talking to these people?
Yeah.
Getting actual information.
Yeah.
And you can't do it quick. It has to be legit. Like, you got to squeeze them out. You got to make sure that, like, especially when you're talking to old people,
yeah,
like, you got to make sure you're getting accurate stuff, not just like what you want to hear.
Yeah.
He really wanted to know. He wasn't just trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like, we had to know that this is real.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how I got into it. And then I continued with it because he started to have trouble getting this medication for his patients. So then I took over. That's what I was doing. I was figuring out ways to get people the protocol.
Yeah.
To work around Como and, that kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
Which is no big deal. Basically, all that entailed was calling pharmacies until you find one that'll do it. That's it. That's all. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's just it takes a little bit of endurance.
Was it easy to realize that the from ones were more likely to work with you than the non-from ones, or the ones in the from?
I can't.
Was that already kind of a given? Or?
Well, definitely. Yeah, I don't want to get anybody in trouble because we're not exactly out of the situation.
You
know
don't
what I
have
mean?
to say the names. You could just say, like.
I just want to say that there are some cities and some places where you could certainly count on the Hamish of pharmacies.
Yeah.
More so than.
Yeah.
Tell the folks at home what Hamish means.
Hamish is like Hasidic and.
No, but the word means like
Hamish, like
kind of like your local, your buddies,
mom and pop, yeah,
homie.
Listen, man, there was one pharmacy, I don't want to say where it's a frum neighborhood, but the guy who runs it is not. I don't even think he's Jewish, and he overheard me talking. He's like, "Yeah, man, this is a disgrace. Fauci should be in prison." And this, I think the guy's
I know which one. That's the place where I sent you.
Yes, you know the guy. He's like, "This is a disgrace. Millions of people are going to be hurt." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, that guy. God bless that guy. God bless.
Dude, that guy. I think he's the owner. I think he's the owner of the place.
He's the owner, and I think large sections of the tri-state area owe him their life.
Debt of gratitude. Yep. Yeah, I got Schmeimer Schmeckton over there.
Yeah.
Actually, originally it was supposed to be for my grandmother, and then I get to my grandmother's house, and there's stupid, whatever she is, Pakistani.
Oh no.
Woman was there. My grandmother, Baruch Hashem, she got over COVID. Her COVID was very light. But this woman's like, что это же для, she said it was like, whatever. For this and that. And I'm like.
So your grandma never ended up taking the protocol?
Did not. But I have this entire stockpile of Schmeiber Schmeckton. Somewhere. I need to look for it. Somewhere I have it. Somewhere in this room, I guess.
Yeah, so basically if COVID didn't happen, I'd have a stable job right now. You know what I mean?
Wait, but what's your thing now? I mean, you're still kind of like, people are still following, no?
I'm trying to make it's this podcast.
You're kidding.
No.
Dude, man.
What am I supposed to do now? Right?
Yeah.
I'm unemployed. My brother, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously, there's like stuff that I can get involved in that I don't want to.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about with all the Z this and Z.
I don't want to discuss like, any specifics.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially after, what's weird?
Yeah.
When I was doing this, right? And kind of, I felt like it was very, very important work. It felt messianic. It felt like, that me and him and the other people that are involved were like literally, the last couple of like minutes, months, years, whatever, of right before Mashiach comes, and we just have to like, it's like a battle, the final battle of Gog and Magog. That's what I thought that we were in.
It is.
And what I'm saying is, I thought that Mashiach comes, right?
Yeah.
When it ends,
yeah.
and but at the end of the battle, right? But so meaning like I'll still be fighting in it.
Well, my theory.
Right? I didn't think that I'd have to go become a plumber after fighting this battle.
Listen, I think a lot of the people. My theory is that there are people who are sparks of Mashiach ben Yosef. I think your brother was one of those people who were sparks of him. And as we know, Mashiach ben Yosef has to, be
No, he doesn't. Actually, the Vilna Gaon said that that's not necessary.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just saying there's an element of that somewhere.
Yeah, but it's a decree that was overturned, and it's not necessary. Okay. And and I know it wasn't lost on me that when he went to the next world on Yosef Atzadik's birthday.
Listen, man. Yeah, that's number one.
Okay.
And so Kung Fu, the legend continues, man. We still you see, like Mousy is scrambling now. He's double talking. All these people are double talking.
No, I'm saying I'm not disagreeing with you. That's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like me personally, like my role.
Yeah.
Right? That's what this podcast is about. Like this podcast is the only way I can really think of continuing, this kind of, my input.
Listen, man,
okay.
I can just tell you I'm doing what I can. In terms of like, you see we've expanded to Substack and Spotify.
Oh, I'm not putting this on you, brother.
Well, I know, I'm just saying in general. I know.
I know that, for this to actually work, I mean, God's gonna have to do something too.
Yeah.
Like we're kind of waiting. We're kind of, I think we're creating a good Kaylee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's see if he has any use for it. There's no guarantee.
Exactly. It's all on him now. It's all on him now. No, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't really see any other.
So I ask myself every day, well, what am I doing realistically to increase the chances of success? The only thing I could think of is to increase my social media presence.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that on, on Getter. I have more than 1,300. I don't know how many of them are bots.
Yeah.
It
What
could
the
be a
hell's wrong with truth with Schmooth Schmoshel?
smooth Smoshel.
Yeah.
There's I'm approaching 700.
No, but what's going on with that platform in general? Like, I haven't been on it in a while. Is it like?
No, it's big. I mean, I think it probably surpassed Getter. Is there a way we could look at the stats? Like,
I don't know.
Oh yeah, dude, we got to finish off this podcast talking about how much the right wing sucks at all this.
Dude, they really stink at this UX, UI, user experience, like everything.
Me and Greg
stuff.
Me and Greg were trying to figure out how to live stream something on Getter.
Yeah, you can't go live.
And it turns out that it's only for special people.
Yeah, they're still beta testing it. Like, it's just the whole thing is just like, you know, there's because you know what it is, because I think Peterson talked about it. Jordan Peterson, you know, leftists are they use a different part of the brain, and they have because they're tapped into the emotion, they have a more creative brain. So you're talking about graphic design, all these kind of things, UX, UI, IT,
motivation to influence, you know,
not just
that's what drives them.
But like, you know, they're good at how things look. That's why they care about how things look. You notice all they care about is how things look and sound.
That is the nature of the Sitra Achra. It's going to expend all of its energy to create an attractive shell.
Yeah. That's why they can't get over, like, they don't understand what, you know, when a president does something like actions, instead of like, you know, even if he looks like a schmuck as he's doing it, or sounds like one, who cares? Like, most normal people are just like, who cares? You know, like the people who go to Apex Technical School, he got it done. He got the job done. I don't give a damn how he talked, or he's got weird hair, and he sounds like an asshole. But these people, because they care about UX and UI, care about that. You know?
Yeah.
So, but we don't, and we suck. We have to find people who are like former leftists. You know what I mean? People who are like, you know, people like David Mamet, but like a UX guy, you know, to like design stuff for us. You have to find like the David Mamet of web design, or the David Mamet of social media.
I'm starting to wonder if this crying isn't a message, meaning like we're complaining about it, but maybe we sound like my baby right now. You know?
Yes. Listen, man, I'm not I mean, well, I'm kind of decent at it. I guess you could say UX, not UX, UI, but like I'm decent at, like, you know, everything I do. I'm usually the person that, like, I remember even in my company in Tel Aviv, people used to come to me and, you know, ask me like, how does this look? You know, what do you want to see here? How does this look? How does this look? You know, I'm fairly decent at it, you know, but like in terms of like, do I have formal training? Do I have like, you know, IT skills? I don't, you know, and I'm sure there's one conservative person who's good, really, really, really good at this, who's like Zuckerberg level good.
Yeah.
Or good in the level of, I don't know, even if you say that Zuckerberg didn't do this, whoever did do it at DARPA or wherever that person is, I'm sure there's a conservative person out there who's got the skills to pay the bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, what's happening?
And he should be the person to take Rumble and completely redo it because it looks like crap. It just looks crap.
Can we live stream on Rumble? Is that an option there?
You can live stream on there, but again, you have to have a subscription. You can't just do live. You need a subscription. You can't do it for free.
So, you know? Meaning we have to pay something. We have to get a special.
You have to pay money, which is stupid. YouTube, you don't, YouTube makes a ton of money, so you don't need to pay them money for that. They get enough with ads.
Right. I mean, if they were on Rumble's level in terms of popularity, they probably would also be doing what they're doing.
Yeah, of course.
So basically, can you hang on one second? I'm trying to figure out like. Okay.
Hello, you still there?
I'm back. Hold on a second. Yo,
Yes.
Wouldn't it be cool if somebody developed some kind of technology that would filter out like specific sound like frequencies,
Maybe.
like a baby crying, right? It would completely just filter that out.
Uh-huh.
Why doesn't that exist? Greg, make it happen.
I'm not sure.
I'm looking over here.
Sorry, my parents just got home and I'm kind of a little bit distracted. There's like noise.
Yeah, dude, you like what? You have like the attention span of a fruit fly when you're
I know.
parents are home.
It's pretty bad.
What's going on? Like, why do you care so much? Are you so
No, because what happens is they
Greg
just
is scared that his father's going to come into the room and say something to him.
no, they start talking to me and requesting me to do things. You understand?
Okay.
Because the house is being renovated. We're in a renovation. We're in a freaking. It's a construction site. Move this, take this, go here, go there, and it's usually either when before they leave to go somewhere or when they come back. Dude, my mother is the type of person that cleans the house before she leaves. And then when she comes home, nothing changed, right? Nothing ostensibly changed. There were no objects moved to a different place. And she starts, I don't know, washing dishes that aren't there. Something always has to be done when she either right before she leaves or when she comes back. It's a habit. It's not even like
I'll make a deal with you. The first time they come and ask you to do something, we'll call it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say,
I gotta go. That's it. Peace. Bye.
yeah, and we'll know. Dude, we got to start like shows like they have like certain recordings ready to go.
Yeah, pre-recorded.
We gotta like, how do we do that?
What do you mean? How do we do? I don't
Like we have Bobcat on standby, like immediately. Like a certain.
Oh, you're talking about like you press a button and it goes.
Yeah, or something. Like a pre-recorded.
That's like Mark Levin has that kind of stuff, or like what's his face had it. Howard Stern.
Howard Stern, right? Exactly. Like
you want to like you want to be the kedusha to Howard Stern's Sitra Achra.
No, well, probably, but I don't want to have anything to do with Howard Stern. Yeah. Such a creep. But basically, what I was saying is that I'll give you a good example is like Gab McInnes. Like he had Tony Soprano saying it's a very difficult situation. Like that was ready to go whenever it was necessary. Or that meme on YouTube, like ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
The black lady who's talking about the fire, that kind of stuff. It's hilarious. But anyway, I just wanted to say that on Truth Social, according to Wikipedia, it says it has 500,000 daily users. This is as of April 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, and it has 2 million monthly active users.
Yeah.
I don't know what that. I don't know why they can't just say how many total accounts there are.
I don't know, to be honest.
Why is it so hard to find this information? It shouldn't be hard.
For the same reason that Twitter can't tell Elon Musk how many are real people, how many are bots, because about 50% are bots.
Right.
I think Getter has also a lot of bots. I think all these platforms have a poop ton of bots.
Yeah. So I think Getter has 5 million like users.
Yeah.
And Truth Social, well, I mean, it says here 2 million. They estimate 2 million monthly users.
Yeah.
So that might mean that they have many more accounts.
Yeah.
It says here at the end of March 2022, Truth Social had been downloaded 1.2 million times. By late March, let's see, in early June 2022, similar Truth Social's iOS app as ranking number 49 in the category of social networking apps on the Apple Store. That kind of feels like it can't be possible. As of late April 2022, MarketWatch reported that Truth Social had around 513,000 active daily users. I guess that's where it's holding. I mean, if this is true, which it very well may not be, they're always going to downplay anything good about something right wing. So.
Yeah. Listen, there's work to do. What can you say?
So let's start live streaming on Rumble. I'll pay for the whatever it costs to get that account.
Let's see. 1 second. Let's take a look how much that would cost us. Live streaming. Here you go. You need, it's basically $10 a month. Here. Hold on. Rumble Ads video player free. Hold on a second. Basic package. Okay. Yeah. At this time, live streaming is only available for basic package or larger. We'll be making live streaming available to all users in the near future as we continue to scale these servers. So like the more, AKA, the more money we make, the more we'll make of it. We'll become like YouTube soon.
Yeah.
Stream Rumble. It requires streaming software. Rumble is compatible with all providers that use RTMP, including OBS stream. Oh, so you need like StreamYard, all this kind of stuff, and many others. Yeah. So Zoom is not going to work. So you need to like get. Oh, so you need streaming software, which I think might cost money.
So how much is that? I'll get it.
Hold on. Hold on. Here. Rumble compatible streaming. Let's see. You can do here. You can use see, YouTube has videos about this. It's really funny. Rumble tutorial. I mean,
how to do it on Rumble, right? YouTube.
No, I'm saying, wait, what?
Earlier today, I was looking for how to stream live on Getter.
Okay.
Right? So I went to Rumble,
okay.
And I was like, I was looking for it. There's nothing even approaching a video tutorial. I go to YouTube.
Yeah.
I almost find something.
Yeah.
Just funny that YouTube has more available than anyway.
Yeah, of course. Here, I mean, whatever. I'll look into this. So the kids are $10 a month. Yeah, it's $10 a month.
All right, I'm down.
Like 100 gig storage and all that jazz. Then they have the other packages.
For the folks at home,
yeah.
We get this down. We need you to switch over to Rumble. At least just kind of check in on us.
Rumble's algo is terrible. I have like almost 2,000 subscribers, and like every video is just like, I don't know, 60, 50. Ridiculous. It's almost like being shadow banned but like,
it's funny.
Shadow banned by an algo.
I was thinking that like these right-wing platforms, they're definitely controlling who they want to promote.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like they're letting certain people rise while keeping other people down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's not. Hey, you see the dive with Jackson Hinkle. Then they have like a Reuters thing, Rand Paul, Newsmax, One American News Network.
By the way, you would think that they would. I asked them to verify me.
Okay. Where on
Getter.
Uh-huh.
And
they don't want to.
And they didn't. Yeah, they refused. And
what did they say? What was the reason?
They didn't give a reason. They just said, "Look, there's a lot of people asking to do this." You know what I mean? Like they're not even.
You're Frank Stallone.
They were really shitty about it. They weren't even like.
Yeah. You're Frank Stallone.
I think maybe if I was Frank Stallone, they would give me like I'm not even Frank Stallone.
Maybe they think that you're like using this name Zelenko. Maybe they're like you're not actually your brother's brother.
I mean, they could have investigated it slightly. Like there's several postings.
Yeah.
He reposted my stuff and he said, "This is my brother."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, meanwhile, there are like these weird Chinese accounts, right? That are following like 25,000 people and have like 8,000 followers of their own, and they're verified. Like, how do they get verified?
Yeah.
It's like something is like fishy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little strange.
That's why we suck.
Yeah, that's why we're
I mean like
quote unquote losing, so to speak.
I just get I get a feeling like, look, I don't think that we're the best podcast or we're the most revolutionary. You know, actually, I actually do think we're the best podcast. I shouldn't lie. I want to be honest. I actually think that I have not heard a podcast that discusses what we discuss and the way that we discuss it. And I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but like, I actually listen to a lot of the episodes that we make, and I find it more interesting because I also listen to others. I listen to Lex Fridman. I listen to Rogan, which is making me sick lately. You know, I listen to these other popular podcasts and these comedians that have their own, and they put me to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that we do have something here, and I think that we've had enough episodes, and we've posted enough on the right wing, the supposedly right wing social media for somebody to take notice.
Yeah.
Okay, or for somebody to kind of look into it or to sample it. I get the feeling, I could be wrong, that they're not really into the message.
I think no, it's not the message. It's they don't know who's talking. Like they see on offhand, sometimes they see that it's you. Let's say, like Dr. Michael's brother, right?
Yeah.
They see that it's you. Most people don't realize it's you, and most people don't even realize what this whole thing is about.
What I'm talking about is like the Getter and Truth Social admin, like those people who decide who to verify.
Yeah.
Who you know who gets to live stream and who doesn't.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. They could see that I have people who are following me.
Yeah.
That like Laura Loomer, Ann Vandersteel, and people like that who follow me, right? So that's a good indication.
Yeah.
If somebody's real.
Yeah. Listen, man, what can I tell you? There's a lot of it's
That's what makes me think that the people like Getter is the swamp.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the swamp because they have Kevin McCarthy there.
Yeah.
Kevin McCarthy gets the live stream.
Yeah.
On Getter.
Yeah.
Okay. The swamp creature du jour.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
That's it. Now let's see what happens. Let's try Rumble. Let's continue torturing YouTube or the actually
Substack is really good. I've been getting subscribers on it.
I got to look into the Substack.
Yeah. And
all right, I'm gonna call it. My son is just I'm gonna use him as a sign, as a guiding light.
Yes, sir. Do it.
It's when to stop, start, and end things.
Yes. That's usually that. He's probably the best.
Actually, my wife took him outside right now, so I don't know how to interpret that. I think my wife is overriding my son, where she thinks we should continue, but I don't know. Let's call it. I was hoping to talk about more 80s stuff today, but it got weird. But at the end, I think we covered some interesting points at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Right. And your parents are home. You're distracted. You're scared. Your mom's gonna come up to you and ask you to wash an imaginary dish. So I'm gonna let you go.
No, I'm cool. I'm actually posting. This guy I told you I met with one of the people, what we call anti narrative people in Israel. His name is Avi Barak. You've seen him. He made these videos about all the different things going on in Israel.
Yeah.
The scrubbing of the what is it called? The scrubbing of the people that reported their things, their issues on the Ministry of Health page, and basically, so he made a video called "Why is Schmeiser CEO Shmurla getting an award?" The Genesis Prize. By the way, you know who runs the Genesis Prize?
No.
Genesis Philanthropy Group. Freaking Russian Jews in Israel and America. It's funny about this freaking guy here. Genesis Prize. Here you go. About Genesis Prize leadership. Let's see. Team. This guy is Stan Polovets. Natan Sharansky's on the board of advisory board. Erwin Kotler. But here, But these are just advisors. Okay, so let's go to the actual team, the people who run the damn thing. This woman Jill Smith. So this Palavietz guy, he was part of Council on Foreign Relations. He worked at, let's see, where did he work? Whatever, Rand Corporation, all these different corporations, corporate, kind of lackey guy. Yes, he's a chairman of Vнимание Foundation, nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting Russian children with learning disabilities. Okay, whatever, wonderful, fantastic. So this is the guy, and then you have this woman Jill Smith. She was in Goldman Sachs. Lawyer. He's part of UJA. The works. And then you have this guy here. UJA, or Great Jewish Federation of whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this woman, Russian Jew, Sana Brivatsky, Ilya Oshman. There's a bunch of Russian Jews run this thing, and they gave Burla the Shmurla, Just crazy.
So what is it? Is it actually is it our own people, Russian Jews, that are behind everything?
Yeah, and yeah. See this guy, Alexander Mikhailants, communications director of Alpha Access, I don't know, some kind of oil and gas assets in Russia, Ukraine, Brazil, Vietnam, Venezuela, and Iraq. Oh man. These are the people that are, this is like a bunch of money that's coming from all these different corporations that it's called the Genesis Philanthropy Group. And so they give out a prize called the Genesis Prize. And this is like one of the biggest prizes. It's like equivalent to like the Israel Prize in Israel. And they gave it to Shmurla. It's a bunch of corrupt, I don't even know what to say, man.
I posted this video of Shmurla on Facebook a while ago, and it's supposedly it's a deep fake where he's like speaking at some forum. It says WEF on the bottom of the video, right? And where he's saying clearly,
it's not a deep fake, it's edited.
Right. So right away people are like, that's a deep fake. That's like right away, as soon as it seemed like there was somebody there immediately ready to say it's a deep fake. Like, how did you know? What team of tech researchers do you have that got to the bottom of that so quickly? That's what I'd like to know. People are so quick to say something. It's almost suspicious. Like, how do you know that it's actually edited and it's deep fake?
No, I saw the original video.
No, I'm not saying to you. I'm talking about all those people that commented right away.
I get it. Oh, okay.
Whatever. I mentioned it.
Yeah.
I said that whether or not he actually said this, this is what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Kiefer's going to have to wait.
Sorry, Kiefer. 24, another 24.
I feel like, you know what I think? You know what? I think that the reason we didn't get to Kiefer is because there are more fundamental people than Kiefer.
Yeah.
Discuss. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
It's too premature.
Yes.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll get there. All right, sir.
Yes.
It's time.
I believe it is.
All right, so next time we will have our friend Mr. Stuyvesant.
I gotta prepare my mind for that.
maybe he has to prepare his mind for you.
He's not gonna prepare anything. he's gonna interrupt and obstruct.
Yeah.
And he's gonna. Dude,
you want to talk about lawyer? He's a lawyer.
He's gonna instigate. He's just gonna be, what he is.
I'm the fire starter. I'm the instigator. Thanks.
No, me and you, when we talk, I'll say something. You will disagree with it. You'll explain to me why you disagree with it. We can talk about it. He's just gonna be like, and immediately attack without any explanation. That's what he does.
Yeah.
I have to prepare for that.
No, he doesn't attack. He just does this whole It's not even mocking. It's like
No, he's dismissive
yeah,
in an aggressive way.
yeah, yeah. It's very weird. Usually people are dismissive, just kind of like dismiss and like go away. But he dismisses and kind of like
and just hovers.
Keeps dismissing.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna do about this dismissal? Dismissed boy.
And you're waiting, and I'm like, and then waiting for an explanation.
Are you done?
What particular aspect? What is it bothering you? And then he'll just like say a different dismissive term.
Yeah.
But it won't be an explanation.
Yeah. He'll just go on to the next thing. It's like ADD. It's like ADD dismissal. It's like very strange.
Yeah. So it feels like, it doesn't feel like a discussion. It feels more like like an intervention.
Yeah.
And interventions take energy, and I don't know if I have it. All right.
Yeah.
But whatever, let's do it, because he's my buddy, and that's more important than being annoyed.
Listen, if anything, he's I guess we're doing him a service. He's definitely not doing us a service.
I mean, no, I can't say he doesn't contribute anything. Like, he contributes frustration, which can be comedic.
Yeah.
All right, we'll use that as a comedic device.
Yeah.
But sometimes, sometimes it's like when he agrees, we'll finally get him to like think about it, and he's like, you know what? Maybe you're right. He says that every now and then.
Yeah, when you break through
you finally break through
the phalanx of attention deficit.
Of like attention deficit and just like pure debunking, dismissal, like with the
yes.
So you know what? If I can get you to just watch the phenomenon. Just next before
Can you send it to me?
I'll send it to you. Just watch the whole damn thing.
Please. Yeah.
If I can get you to watch it, that's like step one of like, doing something effective by talking about this topic.
Okay.
You know who I got to watch it, which is the biggest surprise in my life? I got my brother to watch it.
Nice.
He was like, if he doesn't want to do something, he's not going to do it. You know what I mean?
So
he wasn't doing me a favor. Like, I got him to watch it, and afterwards I was like, did you watch it? Like, I didn't want to put any pressure on him.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it was amazing. And I left it at that. That's it. I had nothing, there's nothing more to talk about. I was just like, I was amazed at that. So anyway.
Cool. That's cool. All right, so
my friend.
We shall convene again.
Arrivederci.
Peace out.